Damn, Gary, some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this?
That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend.
Check out the Geek Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee.
Or if you're looking for something darker, try the dark roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic.
Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome, travelers, to the fringes of reality, where the strange and mysterious meet, and the thin veil between fact and fiction is torn. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.
Every time I see that intro,
it's so good.
It's just so good. It's so good.
It's a freaking master, man.
Harry.
So lucky I found that guy.
Yeah,
Well,
my goodness.
He found me. That's the way it goes.
Perspective.
Yeah. I'd like to start out with some good news because it just hit my a little bit con crud addled brain. Ancient Apocalypse season 2 is currently being filmed, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Oh shit!
Heck yeah, dude.
Woo!
We are getting a season 2.
Yes.
Ancient Apocalypse. I'm so excited. Don't know when, but
who cares? It's happening.
Doesn't matter as long as it's happening.
And some more good news. It looks like, to me, outside observer, after being at the Cosmic Summit, that Graham and Randall are cool.
Yes.
Good. That's
there was
good.
No
news.
bad blood. At least it didn't seem so.
Huge.
Our good friend Jimmy has rescheduled. He apologizes, but he wants to do something extra cool. So we are timing it with that something extra cool.
Oh,
about a month
okay,
maybe, but he will be back. Oh, I feel like I'm at the salon again.
It is spinning.
Yeah, sorry. We're talking about UFOs, and my UFO wasn't. You know, it's just had to. Sorry. So
I gotta get mine.
You get it.
Mine sitting behind the monitor doesn't do anybody any good. I
no, it doesn't. No.
We have a show where we talk about UFOs.
You could just look at it.
I can look at it, but nobody else can. I really got to finish this office, dude.
Not as cool.
Really, like weighing on my mind. Okay.
Yeah, Garrett, what are you waiting for? Go get on that.
I'm saying, just let
me
know.
Finish
what weekend.
Office.
Let's go do it.
I keep saying we'll do it after the next video, and then the next video.
And then another video comes, and then we're like,
which I'm gonna work on right.
Make another video.
Yeah. Garrett's not sleeping tonight. Just kidding.
No.
Oh well.
Wow.
Oh well.
I'll sleep like a baby though. Don't worry.
It's really, really working you there, Garrett.
That's right.
It's all good.
He's my quarter slave.
It's fun.
Wow.
That's a joke.
Better than picking cotton.
It's a better. Hey. I've actually, I've been. I mean, was I technically a slave? No, they paid me $1. They paid me $1 an hour. I mean, I've been a ward of the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been a ward of the state. I mean,
I
deserved it. I was guilty. I did my time.
Okay.
But,
your time.
I saw a crazy statistic about how much profit is made from the stuff that prisoners make in America, and it was insane.
I don't have a problem with it.
No,
when I was there and I got my, it was 25 cents an hour for gardening, right? That I did when I was gardening all my guards' houses, that because they have to live
there, right?
A lot of them live there.
Okay.
The warden lives there. And then I got a raise to $1 an hour when I got my cushy office job with Missy Missildine, who
wanted your bones.
who was sitting on me every day. So whatever.
That name, Missy Missildine, like an instant
looks
image
like
in my head.
she looked like a Missy Missildine. She always wore purple. She always wore
one of
purple.
those.
She was wider than she was tall.
Oh my.
This good old Missy Missildine. Welcome to Forbidden Frontier. What episode is it? What number are we on?
22.
22.
22.
God,
22.
that's almost like a half a year, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're moving along.
We're moving right along. And we're finally going to talk about the documentary Moment of Contact, which I watched for the 4th time right before the show. It's fantastic, man. A lot of subtitles, but man, it's trip. It is
I watched it a second time just a couple hours ago. So it's fresh. I already had some things I want to talk about, but I'm glad I watched it again because there's one thing that they breeze right over that drives me nuts that they did this. And
that's interesting. I wonder what that is because I might agree.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait because I'm gonna see if you picked up on it.
It might have got lost in editing. You never know.
And I'm just like, yeah, I'll wait. I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say up front is there's a lot of really good actors in Virginia. If this is fake,
I was going to say
Agreed.
the same thing because like every single one of the people that they interviewed, compelling as hell.
True.
Like very. I mean, people could be deluded, but all together at the same time, that's almost ridiculous to believe.
having Roger Lear's stuff in there that's never been seen was really
The interviews that at the time, that was cool.
You had with the and we'll get into
And
it.
the story is very consistent
Right.
through all of the separate accounts. Like,
And yeah, that's what I was thinking too. They're either really incredible actors, but the fact that they all don't know each other. There were so many different people that this guy, by the way, reminds me of like a James O'Keefe in the UFO world.
James Fox.
James Fox is
James Fox.
effing good at what he does.
Yeah.
I really
very
enjoy
entertaining.
like how the questions that he asks,
Mhm.
because he's like, I want you to put me in that room. Like,
I love that.
Like, that is great because he's like, what are the looks on people's faces? How do they feel about the situation? Tell me that. Not just, are there aliens? Is it that, like, typical questions?
Right.
He wants to know what it was like to be there.
We're in a pretty good era of UFO docs, and I think James Fox is probably the best director. Like he makes the most compelling, sets the mood, and he's really good. He's really good. James Fox. I hope I said James Fox instead of James.
Yeah.
But whatever.
That's what we said.
What's up?
Am I
James
too
O'Keefe.
hot? Am I too hot? My mic?
I mean,
Ask the women. I don't know. I mean, you're a handsome guy.
The
Adam.
mic.
You
Is
are
my
a
mic
he's not
is my
handsome.
mic too hot? Guys,
it sounds
the
okay
mic.
to me.
The
Sounds
sound.
fine to me.
Okay, all right.
Sounds fine to
Wanna
me.
Who's
I just
mine?
wanna make sure.
And why is he so hot?
Ladies and gentlemen, it just sucks.
StreamYard, I don't know what to do. I can't turn my mic down anymore. So.
No, I think since we'll do a little producing now, I think in the future the streams with fewer people on them, I'm going to go through a different service. I think we're going to go for a different place.
Good
to
idea.
go.
Well, if it's us three, I think we could figure something out.
There is something we can figure out that's got much higher quality.
Right. And X-ray, of course.
I said people and X-ray girl.
Right.
And
Hey,
she's at a wedding right now instead of with
Another
us.
wedding. Yeah.
another one.
Priorities.
Blew us off for a second week in a row. I mean, we blew off Adam last week. Sorry, dude. But
That's okay. No, you know what's
Wasn't
funny?
personal.
I stayed home and was waiting for an invite to do the show with you guys on Saturday. And I'm like sitting at my computer.
It was
and
late.
I'm like,
It was
I
super
know
late.
it was late. And I'm like, I wonder if they're live. And I like click on YouTube and you guys are live. And I'm like,
Oh,
these fucking,
Christ. You know
these
what?
fucking
You
guys.
should have said something. I would have figured you were asleep.
I would have we would have brought you in on an invite.
Yeah, we were doing it out of courtesy. We didn't want to bother you.
Yeah, we didn't want to.
No,
bother you.
it's it's cool. Well, you guys were chilling in a room, like it was one camera. It wasn't StreamYard. You guys would have had to change things up, and
Gotcha.
I was like, they're just talking about the shit that they just were seeing. So I actually just listened for a little while.
you asked pretty good questions. Well, I'm gonna, I probably should give you my phone number, so I'll give you my phone number so you can call me. Yeah. That'd probably be a good idea. Does everybody want it right now? No, just kidding.
Just put it on.
Yeah. Go ahead and just say it publicly.
That happened already. That's why I had to change it. Yeah, my wife accidentally put it up on Instagram, and I'm
wow.
Ooh, wow, my phone's ringing a lot. So we're also going to talk about with the whistleblower. Got a great response for that show, by the way. The one we covered, the whistleblower, people, you folks in the audience were saying, "Hey, we want more of the breaking news stuff." We listen.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. We're going to make that part of every show.
Even more of it.
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. We're going to talk about that.
We'll talk about that. But yeah, the whistleblower. Apparently, a couple more clips have come out. Russell Brand covered one. That's why it surprised me, because in his video, I heard the guy say a couple things. I don't remember that from the interview. I would have remembered that. So we're gonna cover that as well.
Yeah.
Quarter Black. Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I watched that documentary. I was very compelled. Like, you already know that I'm a little skeptical of the aliens actually being here and arriving here. But watching this documentary, like I said, very compelling. Very entertaining, like a lot to think about, because like we said, all of those people, something happened. They saw something. And the government there definitely tried to cover whatever that something was. So very interesting, very interesting.
That's what I like about what the mayor said, because right in the beginning of the documentary, the guy gets there and he's like, "I actually got an interview with the mayor. Like, we're gonna go talk to the mayor of this town," and the mayor's like, "Oh, I absolutely believe it. And I was here when this all went down." And he's saying the military was here like that. They were here so fast and like locking down the situation.
And then the U.S. Why were they there, man?
And then the US pops in later on.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Interesting.
Then a bunch of men in black, literally men in black, shows up to all these places. We'll get into it. It's very interesting.
We will.
Yeah.
And it's Virginia.
For those asking, we're talking about the documentary Moment of Contact.
Yes, and it's Dan Vaskland. It's in Dan Vaskland.
Yes, it's about the 1996 UFO incidents, UFO crash.
Yeah.
And speaking of handsome musicians, but this one's not gay, Adam Crigler. How's it going?
It's going well, man. I just got back home from midsummer celebrations on the west coast of Sweden, hanging out with the family. Beautiful, no clouds in the sky, 82 degrees, just beautiful weather. It was so nice to just sit in the sun. Didn't bring any electronics. I just kind of chilled, took a break from the internet. Although I had my phone, I still checked up on Twitter. I mean, there was a potential coup, although I think that was all planned.
It was a poo.
Yeah, basically.
0 out of 10. Don't recommend.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I think it was
not entertaining at all.
Not
getting into that.
And
the Titanic sub, I think it's all distractions, because Biden is in hot water, and Hunter, and tax fraud, and all this.
Oh yeah,
juicy stuff going on.
I don't think they're like purposely created distractions. I think they're just like situations that they're like, hey, we could use this as a distraction.
Agreed.
You never let a good opportunity go to waste.
Exactly. So why don't we just focus on this sub thing when we already know they found a debris field on Sunday? Let's talk about it for a week.
Every single day, the media could focus on to distract. It's just all they have to do is pick it off a board. Okay.
Yep. Precisely.
So it's about not watching them. And like just giving up on mainstream media, like do not watch them. Like this was the real first time where in a long time I heard about the coup, and I had the urge to go to see what the mainstream media were saying, and I'm like, oh, I can't believe a fucking thing they're gonna say. I no, so I'll just stay on Twitter, and I'll see I can't honestly trust a lot of Twitter either, but I'll put some stuff together. And it looked like it was just all bullshit by the end. And I would love to get into
on Twitter. It seemed like it was all bullshit as well.
That will have to be on like our Rumble episodes someday, where we get into the more conspiratorial stuff.
That's why I like Twitter though, is because you get a bunch of different perspectives.
Yeah, you
don't just get the filtered one through the mainstream. You get people's like on the ground footage, and you're like, oh, this is a photo op. What is this? Like what?
Right.
Nothing's going on. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I think Twitter is important.
Is a photo op, but that's me. I mean, unfortunately, people are dying from this photo op, but I think it's a photo op. Adam, hi. I already said hi to you. So
Yes, you did. But thank you. Hi. You know what? May I respond in kind? Gary.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, thanks.
How are you?
I'm good. I missed you, buddy.
It's good to be back. I'm sad Jimmy isn't here, but I
too.
hear he will be returning. So
Yes.
And he'll be returning along with something like cool.
I don't know what that means, but I'm excited about it.
That.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool enough.
Do you know? Is he
I
telling
don't
you?
know.
He is.
I have no idea.
Gary, you know? You know what's
I know, but
cool?
I can't
You know.
Well, I can tell you in the private chat, but
Well, tell me in the private chat so
what
I
the
could
hell?
know, and then I could.
I want to know
you
so
know.
they don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know.
See, Garrett gets it.
Get
Oh.
a
Go on.
like that.
Click private chat first.
Yeah.
hey,
Make sure it's private chat. He just types it in regular chat. Like, oh.
I may not have ever done that before. Come on, what are you talking about?
Oh, snaps.
There you go.
The vaguest answer possible.
Well, I mean, that's
It's still a mystery, honestly.
It's still a mystery. I know nothing. I feel like I know less now.
Well, that's very in line for the people we deal with on the show. Is
All right.
It just leads to more questions. Everything just leads to more questions. Okay.
It is the Earth, the
I'm
place where
trying-
everything you know is wrong.
I'm
Correct.
driving without my Asian girl today, so forgive me.
So you're probably going to drive better.
Oh, well, most likely. All right, guys. So first we're going to talk about the film, then we're going to talk about the breaking news, because I think once we get later into the documentary, there is something that slightly relates to what happens at the end, because I know there's the Stephen Greer is interesting. You guys will probably have to research him some more. I wouldn't recommend his latest documentaries because he was a very good researcher who did some good work.
I've heard stuff about him.
Who's gone off into the yogi cult, summoning UFOs with
Your mind
meditation.
Thing. I almost interviewed him on my show, and I could probably. I mean, I
think you still should.
Well, I mean,
Absolutely.
it feels like that would be a good guest for this show, don't you think?
It would be. I'd like to, because I feel like he's gone a little culty,
too far,
a little too far. Well, he's a firm believer, and I'm not against this, but he's a firm believer that the aliens are all benevolent. They're all nice.
That's not what the whistleblower is saying.
That is not what the whistleblower is saying.
Not what Richard Dolan's saying. That's not what most people say. I fully believe in as above, so below. So I think there is a pattern. There is an architect. There was an architect to our universe. That's what I believe, and I think certain patterns repeat, no matter what. And while
like evil,
good and evil.
Good and evil. I think there's probably both up there. I mean, if there's both down here, like you just said, and it's going to be people that show up and they're like, "Hey, let's be friends."
So we see everything through our lens because that's all we can do, right?
Right.
But our form of consciousness might be completely different from somebody else's. Some other civilization's version of empathy might be completely different than ours. And these are concepts that are hard for my brain to get around, and most everyone's. But I think that Hitchhiker has always been, kind of I think that's what probably the galaxy's mostly like. It's probably just a much bigger version of our society.
Yeah. I think we like to think that they've got it all figured out up there. They're like, oh, they're aliens. They're all kind and they want to help people and they've got everything fixed. No, I don't think that's gonna happen.
That's the basis of a lot of fantasy, like Elric, even Lord of the Rings. Is there was a golden age, and we're out of the golden age. What's the basis of our mythology? There was a golden age and we're out of our golden. So what if a society did reach that peak and they were hit the pinnacle, but then something happened? So the technology's still there, but the morality and the civility is not.
If you look at life on Earth, right? I mean, most animals they don't live by a code of morals.
No.
Right? It's about surviving, procreating, and surviving. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And making sure you're eating and not getting eaten and trying to procreate. Like that's basically all animals. So they're like indifferent to what we look at as morals. So I think if we're going to run into aliens, more often than not, we might find intelligent life, but I think most of the life that we would eventually run across is going to be more on that like just
Animal plant level.
surviving, right? Exactly. Instead of like a consciousness like we have comparatively. I mean,
That's going to be the 1 in a million. But that's still
so instead
20.
of like ET, we're probably going to run into the alien from Aliens.
Yeah, I mean,
more than likely, they're going to be some kind of organism that's just trying to survive.
No, until Ridley Scott screwed it up. Had a ship, all right, but then Ridley Scott. I just pretend those other ones don't exist.
Well, that was the architect, the
Prometheus.
No, fuck Prometheus. It doesn't exist.
No.
Okay?
I'm saying like the. It's
No,
not
is that what you're
it's not the
referring to?
aliens
The pilot
that have the pilot.
Yeah.
That's not an alien. That's a. I mean, it's an alien, but it's not a.
The proto-human. Or
what are they called? I can't remember the name. But they're not that type of alien.
It was called the pilot. That's what it was called.
Just the pilot.
But it was left. We didn't know. That was the whole point.
Mystery.
The whole point. And our imagination.
Engineer. Thank you.
Could fill it in. We know the
xenomorph. He's not a xenomorph. The engineer wasn't a xenomorph. The xenomorphs didn't have a ship. They just took over that ship and then it crashed. Right.
That makes sense.
Because it was the engineer that was piloting.
Space jockey. Thank you. Space jockey. It was the space jockey.
Originally, yes.
Yeah. Originally called the space jockey. There's only 2 alien movies. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
The other one, some of them got cool.
Okay.
Kind of wacky.
Dude, honestly, I haven't seen the first one in a decade.
I really like the fourth one that's just way out there, and she's having sex with aliens and stuff, and then he comes back and he's like,
Joss Whedon wrote that.
Yeah, that one's
weird.
crazy.
I don't like that one.
I don't remember that one.
I mean, it's not good. don't get me wrong, but it is fun.
The third one. I hate
the part where they're swimming, and the aliens are swimming at them.
Whatever.
I don't remember.
So
whatever.
Moment of contact.
Moment of contact. So it's the Brazilian Roswell. And I vividly remember
this is better than Roswell.
Agreed.
This is better.
Well, yeah, because we have witnesses that aren't being filtered. Well, most of them aren't being filtered through a military and a military industrial complex and misinformation. So you're in Brazil, which is because James Fox went in as an outsider, was much more open, and they don't have a military industrial complex like we do. So, I mean, we're lucky to go down there, and it's just a language barrier. And quite frankly, James Fox said, I didn't believe this when I first saw it. I thought it was kooky. And I remember listening to Art Bell when this happened, like a day after it happened. It was being reported on Art Bell, a guy who doesn't get thanked enough, wasn't mentioned anywhere at Contact in the Desert because George Norrie's, a pussy. But Art Bell reported on this stuff first and had people talking about it. And that's where Roger Lear went down there back in 2002. So he was still going. He went down. This happened in 1996, by the way. So what happened, and guys, fill in any blanks I miss. I'm an old guy with a drug-addled brain. There was a UFO. There were sightings beforehand. There were sightings around Virginia, Brazil. And then there was a crash.
Actually, wait.
Just north of Sao Paulo.
North of Sao Paulo.
And the documentary opens with NORAD, the guys who are operating NORAD, contacting the Brazilian military saying, we've spotted a UFO over your territory.
Got a blip.
We see something, and it's like that's how they start. And I'm like, wait,
so it's not just some random dude.
How did they know it was unidentified? Like how? What was it?
So,
what did they
NORAD,
see?
they did the same thing with the Chinese balloon thing that happened earlier this year, where they were like, "Hey, we noticed something in the skies. What is it? I don't know. Government, go check it out." And then they went and checked it out. So that's basically what NORAD seems to do. It's like they're like, "We noticed there's something flying over here. It shouldn't be there. Let that government know."
Yeah. So then there was a crash.
Then there was a crash, and also the beginning of the documentary, they recap other Brazilian incidents, which there's a lot. There is a lot. And their military traditionally has been much more open about it than ours. Just they have. And it's probably because they don't have such a tight grip on everything. It's kind of loosey goosey. There's a part in the movie where the guy's like, we weren't prepared for any of this. That's probably why the U.S. came in. Like, we didn't have the facilities. We didn't have the like.
They probably called the U.S. We're like, hey,
they probably did.
Could you help us with this?
There's a thing called Five Eyes. Remind me to bring this up after we talk about the movie.
Yeah,
because it might have been confirmed. It's something we suspected, but it's an allegiance of 5 nations, by the way, just to let you know.
Yeah,
I like the name.
It's called
Five Eyes.
Yeah. So, UFO. I'm gonna do a brief one, then we're gonna get into that's it. UFO crashes. Man witnesses crash. Man straight up witnesses the crash.
Goes to the crash site.
There are bodies. There are aliens running around Virginia, witnessed by some girls. There's a military blockade. One is captured by a military police officer. Another one is captured later in the evening. They both get taken
by
to
a firefighter, I believe.
Firefighters grab the other one. One is alive. One is dead.
And they all describe like separate. So the guy that goes to the crash site, he describes the alien body, and then the girls describe the alien body, and then one of the military officers that was transporting the bodies between places described it. They all described it the same way. It was dark and oily. Like every one of them said the same thing.
Yeah. So what you saw in the thumbnail, I'm gonna
and that is a recreation. That painting is a recreation of what the girls saw in a lot inside in the city. So the crash site happened outside the city, and somehow this being got into the city, and that's where the girls saw it. And then they made a blockade around that. They made a blockade around the crash site, and the guy that was at the crash site, they basically was like, "Get out of here! You shouldn't see this. Get out."
So
and they did the same thing to the girls.
That is the original. That is the first painting done of what the girls witnessed. There's the nubs on the head, the giant red eyes. There's the glistening skin. That's a very important detail.
That they all repeat.
Glistening skin that they all repeat. The other one is the awful smell that one woman said stayed in her nasal passages for 20 days.
It's crazy.
It's like pneumonia was the smell that the guy described. Ammonia,
sulfur-ish smell.
Yeah. The one woman was like, "No, it wasn't ammonia. It was worse. It was
like an atmosphere that was inside of the ship that they were,
or the alien decomposing, which is what I presumed.
A quick decompose.
What one of the witnesses,
who knows,
is it looked silicon, right? It looked So I think that really goes into my like these things are drones. These things are straight organically made life to travel. But the thing was scared.
Yeah.
Like, so it knows fear. It knew fear. It was cowering. And like the best thing, I mean, we don't get any footage. We don't get any documents. This is purely sitting down and talking to witnesses. But I mean, this is such a big deal in town. They have a giant UFO monument in it. And you think, well, they might want to keep the story going for tourism and stuff. I don't think a lot of people go there for tourism, It's on the map because like the city's on the map and the town looks nice, but like other than
I would say like that would be the explanation if I didn't believe their testimonies. Like if it was just like the city, it wants something to say, hey, this is our thing, this UFO thing, come to our UFO city and come check it out. But then they interview the people, and the people don't seem like they're faking it. Like they're like the dude, legit breaks down about how he was like when he saw the crash site again.
Right? I'm gonna see if I can get his name.
Okay, so this guy that you're talking about,
Carlos Desplaza. Yeah.
Now this is the guy who saw the crash.
Yes.
Drove to the crash and was there and seeing this stuff, and he actually picked up a piece of the craft and said that he like went to bend it and it snapped back into place.
And what is that exactly from? Roswell.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's that the technology that we've discovered now, that we've invented. It's aluminum that can return back to its form.
Right.
That we've proven is a scientific fact that they can make it. It's difficult, but they can make it.
Okay, this is
So-
the thing. This is the thing that threw me off. That bugs the shit out of me.
So,
They-
so real quick, Jesse Marcel
Go ahead.
said the same thing about the material he picked up at Roswell.
Oh, okay.
And showed to his kid. It's even in the Roswell movie, right? Where it's basically like super hard tinfoil that doesn't crease or anything. It just, you try to crumple it up and it goes right back flat.
Memory.
So this guy who went and picked up this stuff, he said they're all of a sudden military guys showed up and were pointing guns at him like, leave, get out of here right now. Like, get out of here.
Yep.
And in the documentary at that moment, they actually have the older version of him. So they bring him on to join in this documentary. But right after they say like he left, they just simply say, and then he disappeared for 26 years.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
that
I'm
was a
like,
weird edit. What does that
what do you mean he disappeared for 26? Where the fuck did he go? What did he?
As
was
in, like, he didn't speak
So-
up again?
So
Until-
They just said that's it. They didn't
Disappeared. Yeah,
explain
I
it.
noticed
he
that too.
disappeared for 26
James
years. Like,
Fox, he does explain it in a couple of interviews, and I can't remember some.
okay, not in the documentary. Something
not in the
else.
documentary, but they really, I guess I got lost in the edit. But
Yeah.
So some Australian podcast called Galaxy something help me with this chat. He was on right when it came out, and he was on Joe Rogan. I think he talked about it, but the guy was freaked out because they were going to
Rightfully
shoot
so.
him because he's like, I'm gonna get shot, and he
Not
was
just
told-
that, the guy that shows
Shut the
up
hell up.
later.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
the man in black that shows up later while he's like pumping gas or something, and the dude walks up to him and he goes, "Are you, what's his name? Carlos?"
Carlos de Souza.
He's like, "Are you Carlos? Your family's this, your mother's this. They live here and they live." He basically like, "This is who you are.
Your whole life.
Don't say anything, or things are gonna get." How did he explain it? Weird for you.
Things are gonna get
weird for you.
Yeah.
And then he leaves.
Well, that's
And that
another thing
freaked him
that
out.
I've noticed about all the interviews. Every single person was like, "We were told not to say anything."
Yeah.
Like they were telling us like, "We didn't see anything. You're not supposed to say anything."
The mother of the kids,
Mm-hmm.
the man that died, the one that caught one of the beings that suddenly died really quickly after,
Right.
told not to say anything. It's like the order of events is very interesting because the crash happens. He goes to the crash site, told to leave. The girls see the being. Military blockade. They're told to leave. The body is taken to the ESA compound overnight. The guy, then they transport the body to another compound to have it studied, and then the Americans show up. They then take it away. Then all of a sudden, a few days later, every single one of those witnesses, a very tall, they described as a scary tall man, shows up to wherever they were. Like the mother of those girls knocks on the door. She says she goes to the door to like open it up because she just thinks it's a researcher researching the story, and she opens it up. 4 guys walk into her house, and they go, "Shut the door," and then they start like scaring her and going like, "Do not talk about this. Tell everyone that your girls are lying and reverse the story." And then they leave. And this happens to every one of the other witnesses. And then all of a sudden, disappear. They even had, like, this is the thing where I say something happened because they had a military conference with the general there, and they
Right.
had a whole press conference with him. They're like asking him, like, what is going on? Why are you blocking the streets? Why are you doing this? Why are you intimidating people? And he was like, "Oh, nothing to see here."
Nothing to see. Well, wouldn't you want to, prove to the people that there's nothing?
They're like, "Prove to who?"
He's like, "Prove to who? I don't need to prove anything."
Nothing. That was weird that you said nothing in the ad that started up for my video. Said there's nothing. Did you hear that? No,
No, I didn't hear that.
you didn't hear that. Well, good. I did. I'm trying to get the military officer's name. It's not like apparently easy to
The
look up.
general you're talking
No,
about?
the kid. Basically, the kid.
The one that passed away.
the one
That
passed
was holding
away.
it? Yeah, well, while you're looking that up, I'll talk about what happened to him. So the doctor, or the guy who was talking about this man who died, who actually picked up the alien, his immune system was going into basically shock and shutting down. And the doctor that worked on him said that he had never seen anything that that has ever happened to a human's immune system like this to shut down as quickly as it was. And it's like there's no explanation. The doctor couldn't figure it out.
So yeah,
And
so the
a week later he
timeline
died.
of events was UFO crashes. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but like hours go by, maybe even a day goes by.
I don't
And
recall.
and they start seeing little aliens around the town. And the girls see one. They want to go back and look at it. They get another person who didn't want to go back, but she drives in her truck and they go back and they see the alien cowering in basically a vacant lot, right?
Yeah.
They smell the smell. They run away in total fear. And then the military comes in and people are like, they interviewed the two guys walking out of the gym. And one guy's like, F you is a free country. I'm going to walk where the F I want. That guy's based. All right. Hell to him. But,
Nice.
they closed everything up. And that's when they did their little, they got in their search parties. MP finds one alien just run across the street in front of them. And they captured him pretty easily, but that's the kid who captured him with his bare hands, and he died from it. So the thing is, though, we have a confirmed death. It is confirmed that this kid died. Roger Lear interviews his wife. James Fox interviews his sister, and what they said was just he died of an infection. That's it.
Right.
But then they talked to the doctor who worked on him and said, we've never, in 45 years of medicine, I've never seen anything like this before. And it's as if his immune system was just shutting down. And the oil from the skin, from the alien, got all over him. So it looks like direct contact is deadly. Maybe that's a reason they stay away. Not sure. That's just something to think about. Maybe if they are benevolent.
And is that like a defense mechanism, or is it
maybe
just by accident? The different, it happens to kill humans when they come in contact.
Don't know.
Don't know. Yeah.
I think the government may know because they took the body, disappeared him.
Mm-hmm.
They did.
And they said that was very strange. Everyone was American. They all showed up. Took over the whole situation.
Didn't want to put their faces on camera.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There was a lot of witnesses, and like this, actually the documentary doesn't even interview. They had to go to they went to Virginia, and they put up signs. They just wrote signs in, I believe it was Portuguese, right? Just like, hey, do you know anything about the UFO? Come talk to us. That's how they started to help find some of these people, and he found them. He got to talk to the mayor. He talked to, off camera, a military guy. But here, let me share.
Guy that transported the being's body from one
guy who
location to another.
Body.
That's actually really interesting because he found him and went to go meet him, and the guy was like, "Get the fuck out of here."
I don't want to talk about any of this.
I will remove you with bullets. Like he kept saying it. Like, I'm not talking. Who are you looking for? Yeah, that's me. I'm not. I will remove you with bullets. And they're like, I think he's serious. Like, we should leave. Like, this guy's gonna shoot you if you continue. He's like, I just want to ask him one question. And they're like, I don't think that's a good idea. I think he's going to shoot you. And he's like, holy shit, was that him? Did I almost get that interview? And it's like, bro, he almost fucking killed you, dude.
Yeah.
I believe he would have, if he kept prying, dude, that guy was going to open fire on him. That was a crazy moment, dude. And this shit was tense.
He talks about in one of the podcasts, James Fox talks about the interview he finally got, and the room was so small that
the hotel room?
They had to sit on the bed.
Yeah, it was like
and he was in a doorway, and they had to shoot, which was clever. I mean, it's actually a clever way to work around it.
Right.
It looked dynamic too. It was like, dang.
Yeah, aesthetically, it didn't matter because that with the story that guy tells at the end kind of seals the deal for this documentary.
Right.
Because again, if these guys are actors, why do they want to hide their face? Why are they scared to death? And even James Fox goes like, okay, let's just not call it an alien. Let's just call it a creature, a thing. Yeah. We don't know where it's from, So alien is just a term we're using. And then this guy describes seeing it delivered to the hospital, the dead one delivered to the hospital. He delivered it to the hospital. It's covered up to its legs. It's in a wooden box on a steel table. Lots of doctors standing around with clipboards. And then James Fox, this is, frankly, I'd ask this question too, but I think it's a good question to ask. And not everybody does, is like, put me in the room, dude. Like,
Yeah.
let's like, how did everybody feel? How did everybody look? And everybody was tense. It was like a really tense
They were
moment.
also confused. Like what he said, they looked like they also were wondering what was going on a little bit.
And honestly, the guy they were talking to at the time was like, I wasn't even sure what the hell it was. He called it a little burnt man. Little burnt man. That's what it looked like. And apparently a superior officer said, that's not what you saw. That's not what you saw. Yeah. And the military guy, the ex-military guy, was like, maybe he thought I was being coy or something, but he's all, no, you saw something supernatural. So it was interesting. If you go back to where the girls, they talked, when they first saw it, one of the girls says, I was a Catholic. I was a child of Catholics.
Right.
So the first thing I thought was demon. Like I thought I was
looked like a little demon.
Yeah, and that's why they were so scared.
Yep. But they also one of them made eye contact, right, and said they felt fear in it too, and almost a little bit of empathy, right? There was a little bit of empathy for the thing
because he asked her the same question. He was like, what was that moment? That was from the name, moment of contact, when they make eye contact. What was it? Put me in that situation. And that's how she explained it. It was like, it was afraid, like I was afraid. And it had like a somber face. And there was a little bit. So, I mean, it looked like it was running from a crash. And it was trying to get away. Didn't know what to do.
No, imagine. And
then the military come in and go, block off the whole area.
Well, if they can't live in our atmosphere, right? If it is, they said the smell of ammonia was really strong. So if it's some sort of a different life form that isn't based on oxygen,
likely,
which is very likely, right? That their spaceships contain their own atmosphere, and when they are in our atmosphere, they instantly start decomposing. Which, I mean, from what I've seen, that's what it sounds like. That it crashed, and they were like probably dying. That's why they were fearful, because they're like, I don't know what's going on. I'm dying here. I'm in pain, and
well, send that back to your alien
body's
mothership.
breaking down.
You can't live here.
Apparently, and it's mentioned in the documentary, another ship was looking for him. There were other sightings after that. So another, I'll say ship. That's what I'm just going to say ship. Was looking for them. And so there were a couple of sightings post the crash.
And they didn't they describe it as like it's larger than a school bus, and it was like a cylindrical shape.
Mm-hmm.
So like
one guy said it looked kind of like a cigar,
like a Tic Tac.
But it depends on.
Mua.
Well, I mean, the cigar shape could be, for one, there are UFOs.
Perspective.
But it could be perspective. But there are UFOs that are cigar shaped. Yes.
Right.
Or oblong.
Right.
But it's interesting. In some crashes, the ship doesn't break up. Like in some crashes, the ship just crashes into the ground and stays in one piece. And you see this.
Didn't they get a photo of it? Hold on. I'm pulling this document. I know there's a photo. So someone right in the beginning. I'm just gonna prove
like an artist rendition of it.
No. It was an actual photograph. Yeah. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, you find it. I'll keep talking. I can do that. I can fill time. I can yapper.
You're a pro.
It's like that. I don't know about that, but
okay. Well, here's one artist depiction that they did. Okay, this is from the couple at the farm. All right, and this is when they were talking about. This is the guy who said it looked like a cigar.
Yep.
And then she said she went out to like listen for a crash and never heard a crash, which is weird, right?
Really weird.
If it was going down and then supposedly it crashed, the guy went to the crash site, but it didn't. She didn't hear anything, and they're obviously out in the country wherever the crash, near the crash, and she didn't hear anything. So that's interesting.
So
and then,
were they describing it as like a force field? Because it looks like, or wait, I'm seeing there's like a hole on the side of the ship.
A hole in the
That's what
side. So
okay.
people often ask, and I think it's a good question, if they're so technically advanced and they can go this far, why do they crash all the time? Well, maybe because it's really hard to go places. That's what I think. I think even if, they don't know all the variables, especially, let's just say,
they're figuring out our gravity,
that's what the Navy people saw. That's which looks a lot like a UFO that was with that Nick Pope talked about, Garrett, in the UK. It's that diamond shaped one.
Yeah, dude,
is it the one that go like
that
this?
photo?
Exactly like that one. Yeah.
Nick Pope said that they had a big photo of it, like a blown up image of this diamond, and it looked just like this. And
it disappeared, and then they found it.
They found it?
Yeah, they found it. They found it, and it looks just fucking like that. Ooh, that is good. You never know.
This is the image that I was thinking of.
So,
and I went right to it.
Magical. It's magical. It's magical. So I think it's very difficult. And say these are extra dimensional. So we are talking about a ship that can that's basically got a gravity field around it.
I got a question here.
Okay.
You know what saucers look like? They look like event horizons of a black hole.
They do.
Yes, they do. I agree.
And the UFO whistleblower is talking about them not traveling through space, but space and time.
Let's be fair.
Oh, we're going to get into that.
Yeah. We do have pictures of black holes now, which is
right.
And I'm not just talking about on Pornhub. I'm talking about in space. Okay.
My mind didn't go there until you said something.
People.
Sorry, I hit that button.
Wow.
Accidentally. I meant to hit this one.
I just find it interesting that the shape of saucers, in the colloquial term for flying saucers, right?
No, I agree.
Is the shape of an event horizon from black hole.
It's fitting.
It is fitting, and maybe it fits. Like literally fits through.
Through the black hole.
Extra dimensional.
I was thinking about Pornhub.
Extra dimensional porn. No. Do you think the aliens have porn? I think they do.
Yeah, as so above, so below, right?
Yep. So extra dimensional beings, drones sent by us, like biological drones sent by us from the future, or another possible reality.
He was saying it like about
like an Earth that still has good Star Wars, the Twin Towers, and doesn't have CERN. Maybe
take me with you, aliens.
Yeah. But there'd be another version of you.
Oh, I fucking kill him.
And then it'd be battle between two Black Garretts.
I'll take him out.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, we just be bros. We'd be like, yo, what's up?
Yeah,
let's take care of the world together.
You'd be like Austin Powers. Technically, not cheating, baby. The Mandela effect. Yes. The Mandela effect.
Yeah. Good call.
I've had a Mandela effect. I'll tell that story later in my real life. And not just with the Bernstein bears or whatever.
Bernstein bears.
Fruit of the Loom.
I am not one of the people who heard Mandela died. I've always thought he was alive until he did die. But that's what the whole Mandela effect is about, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a whole song about freeing Nelson Mandela. Okay.
My thing was the Bernstein bears. I was like, what the hell is this Berenstain Bears? No way.
I never heard
Berenstain Bears. It was the whole time. It was Berenstein. Don't know what you're talking about, Berenstain. Get this out of here.
Okay. Well, mine is Chris Squire from Yes. Could have sworn I heard he died back in 2000. I think it was 11. Just I could have sworn I saw a news report and everything. He died in 2015. But I could have sworn. I mean, I was convinced the guy was dead. By the way, I'm a bass player, so I follow bass players. He was one of the better ones. So that's my personal Mandela effect. All right. I'm probably the only person who thought that. Maybe it was my personal wormhole. I'm not sure.
Not as cool as I hoped that story would be.
Wow. I didn't care.
Could have been cooler.
Could have been.
I'm not trying to be cool. I'm trying to tell you the truth.
That's really weird though.
Yeah, it is weird.
I think there's a lot of those little
So
those
weird.
little universes overlapping with each other and just kind of affecting them in very small ways that you don't really notice until you're like, wait a second, this guy was dead like 5 years ago.
Possibility we could just every time we wake up, we're in a slightly different reality. You never know.
It's a new Mandela every day.
There may be. So this witness, they have footage of him when he was younger, prior to his disappearance on the left.
Right.
That's where he is on the right. Now, this guy was deeply emotionally affected by this.
Yes,
Definitely.
and like you said, there's a lot of really great Oscar high bar acting
What the hell
in Brazil.
Look at this
because
ad right
damn.
here. Find single women in Ukraine.
Hey man, find them.
Wow.
A lot of their men's been getting killed, but this guy,
Well,
like,
there's probably a lot of single ones. Yeah.
when he broke down, it was genuine. Like, it felt very genuine. Like, if he's a damn good actor, if that's not genuine.
He had never gone back to the crash site, so they went.
It's the first time back.
Were searching for the crash site that he went to, and that's where he said he found a piece of it, and they found it, and he was like, yeah, obviously he was speaking Portuguese, but he's like, here, this is the place, this is here, and he kind of like, it almost seemed like he kind of like, all right, I don't care about you guys, I have to go face this right now, and he like ran forward and kind of like, I don't know if he fell on his knees, but it felt like he was just like, holy shit, this is it, this is the place. Like,
He went down to one knee and was like,
well, if he spent
dropping
26
tears and
years
stuff.
freaking out, wondering if he was going to get killed by admitting that he saw what he did see, but then maybe convincing himself that he didn't see it.
friends
right,
and family making fun of him his whole
Right?
life. Like,
Who knows?
after that.
And then finally going back there and being like, holy shit.
Well, put yourself.
It
That's
really
what he said.
happened.
That's what he said. He said, like, this whole time, my friends have been making fun of me because of these things, and like my family, they don't believe me. And it was like, he was like, I never made a dime off of this. I would be a liar if I said I made money off of this. I get nothing out of this except for pain.
He didn't make any money. He disappeared. But let's put yourself in his shoes, like quite literally. You're driving home from work and you see a fucking alien ship crash. You see something crash that, like, you just know unquestionably this is not one of ours.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have these giant pill-shaped objects flying around that are as big as buses that crash, that don't make a sound, that have little oily, gooey guys walking around. And then when you go up to witness it, right? The military's there in the middle of nowhere, by the way.
Mhm.
I mean, well, not middle, but they weren't like super close to a base, but they got there extremely fast. And then they're pointing guns at you and telling you, get out of there. You're lucky. He's lucky he didn't get shot.
Truth.
Right?
Lucky they let him go.
Yeah, I would think other militaries would not. That's just my opinion. Other militaries would not let him go if he's that close nowadays. But they let him go. It scared the effing shit out of him. So, like, we hear these accounts all the time, but like, what if one of those happened to you? It would change your fucking life.
Yeah.
Forever.
True.
Change your perspective forever. What, like, maybe he was a man of faith, not sure. Even if you weren't, it would shake an atheist, or a skeptic who doesn't believe in anything. They're as dogmatic about that as anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That would fucking rock your world forever. And then nobody believes you for the rest of your life. I understand why he practically had a nervous breakdown during this interview. Like,
Well, and he's surrounded by people that are
comforting him,
that believe him,
Yeah.
that are like, we believe you. Like, tell us your story. And that's something that James does really well. He's very interested. You could tell that he's very intrigued and open to hearing their side of the story. And he wears it on his sleeve, dude. How open he is to hearing them and just listening, truly listening, instead of like sitting there judging what they're saying, which I feel like is what they probably have been used to, especially this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always like really good liars out there, but man, there would be a lot of them in this.
And they don't all know each other.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That these people don't know each other. You know, they interviewed from all over the place. The people on the farm. This guy who went and saw it. I don't know if he knows the girls or not. The mayor talks about how I think he said his brother was dating one of the girls, so he was actually he got to like talk to her, and like at the time when it happened, and then the fact that the military was in so quickly, he's like, yeah, I absolutely believe that something happened. I thought that was really interesting.
Absolutely, that's 100% fact. Something did happen. The government did try to cover it up. The government did not tell the press when they were asked what happened. Something happened there.
The military
100%
did
fact.
show up. The fire department was involved. A man did die.
Yes.
Right.
So
died.
these are facts about the story, which are crazy.
Or
and
whatever.
then on top of that is all of the witnesses that they interview are very believable. The way that they recount retell their story, retell their witness story. Very believable.
The one military witness that they were able to find was as tight-lipped as anyone else. Like he was not talking at all. He was like, "Get the F off my property right now." Like, who knows what they had over him.
And yeah, we don't know if this was the Brazilian military that intimidated him or both the Brazilian military and ours.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I would believe. I think personally, I think something happened. Now, what was it? Was it some chimera that escaped from some base? Well, let's knock that off the list, because I don't think Brazil is working on, unless we have a base down there, that we're working on some weird creature, some hybrid creature. What else could it have been? You know, what else can run around and then easily get captured and then kill a human being when a human being touches it? If it
reeks of ammonia, also
reeks of ammonia. If it's some kind of irradiated human being, it would kill everybody. I mean, it would have killed everybody it got around.
That's true.
And that's one of
the girls were 8 feet away from it.
8 feet away, and they seem fine. So it had to be direct contact. And one of the investigators in the film says, "We don't know how many other people died. We just know it's one. It could be more." Right. They were tight-lipped about everything. And then, they handed it off to the U.S. It's a fascinating documentary. One of the better ones. James Fox always makes bangers. I would really go back through if you haven't seen like his older stuff. Out of the Blue. It's the first one I remember. It used to be on Netflix many, many years ago when Netflix had UFO documentaries. I think it still does. But another great one is I Know What I Saw, which is about the Phoenix Lights. I think it's like the definitive Phoenix Lights documentary. So go see that one. And then Phenomenon, which he did prior to this one. He's working on another one already. So we've got some more coming.
We know what it's about.
No, I don't know what it's about. I don't know what this one's about.
Cool to have him on the show.
It would be cool to have him on the show.
Absolutely.
James Fox. We can do that. Maybe when his next movie comes out, we'll hit him up.
Yeah.
So you want to be on a little show?
James, if you're watching, you're welcome.
Welcome on anytime.
Come on in.
Anytime. He was on Joe Rogan recently. You watch his appearance on Joe Rogan. It's very good. He gives more details about the film and, what other stuff he's done. So I think it's very, very cool. Let's read some soups and then we will talk about the breaking news.
The whistleblower.
I agree. I absolutely agree. One of the most convincing abductees of all time. I wouldn't believe in the abductee thing if it wasn't for Travis Walton.
Is this Fire in the Sky?
Did he get probed?
Fire in the Sky.
Yeah. Okay. That's on my list. I'm gonna watch that. I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my radar.
That's what makes me believe they're not super nice. Even if they bring you back, it's like, dude, they're plucking you.
That's messed up, man.
Messed up. But maybe they just look at us as fish. It's like, hey, we want to
like animals.
Fish. Let's hook them. Look, scare the shit out of them. Throw them back. The big old hole.
Study them. Go like, what is? What's all this about? Let's take a look.
Big old hole.
Send a probe up there.
Yeah.
Check it out. They're like, this is what they eat. Okay, cheeseburgers, cool.
Yeah,
we got back down, plummeting them.
And as much as I would love to see a UFO and some aliens, I don't know. Common sense makes me think that we shouldn't be like waving a flag going, here we are. I just don't think that's a good idea.
How about that?
Or shooting missiles at them.
Or shooting at them, which is a joke.
Well, supposedly that happened.
It's happened a lot, and they've shot back and downed planes when directly affected. That a lot of times they try to avoid it, but sometimes they're just like, F you, goodbye. Zeep. Pop. Pop. All right, here we go.
Smart.
Yeah, real smart. Okay, we got Eric K for $5 says maybe they do not have the technology to make antivirus spacesuit. Well, maybe they know we're here, but they don't know the makeup of our atmosphere. They don't know what diseases I don't care how advanced you are, you would have to send another probe ahead to know the makeup of our atmosphere, what kind of diseases are running around that can kill them. So the suits are probably protective to some point, but as Adam said, if they breathe hydrogen or something, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. If they breathe something else, or they don't breathe at all, and oxygen is a poison to them, how would they know? How would they know until they got here? And maybe they had no intention of crashing.
Well, we know what elements different planets are composed of because of the way that the light passes through. So I'm sure that they know that this is an oxygen heavy planet with CO2.
Maybe it was like maybe it's too soon. Maybe it was like the space ocean gate. Like we are pretty technically advanced.
Right.
Yet we still make, carbon fiber submarines.
Maybe they were using a Logitech controller.
Maybe. Too soon? Never. I saw the James Cameron.
It is sad.
Did you see the James Cameron interview that's been going around from the Daily Mail? Has a couple million views. He's saying like, hey, I knew they were gone on Monday. I emailed friends. It was none of my business. I don't know much about them. They had asked me to go with them, and I wasn't really interested, and I was doing other things. He's all, but when I emailed some friends on the Monday after the incident, he's like, "Oh, you heard a bang, and this the thing that regulates the pressure or something like that is in a separate, or regulates the oxygen. One of the things that regulates the sub is in a separate pressurized container. And when you have two things failing like that are separate and a bang, that means your sub's dead. It's gone."
Man.
So he knew.
Did you hear Mr. Beast was also supposed to be on that?
Yeah.
That's weird, right?
That is weird.
What's up with this?
I also think I don't know. I can't know what I'd do in that situation.
Why? No, man.
I don't know if I'd throw up on Twitter that I was totally supposed to go.
Yeah, it is weird.
Man.
I think there's some times where you just got to be an adult, and part of it being an adult and a grown man is showing restraint. Yeah. I know that's a weird concept here on YouTube, but
it's gonna turn into like the comedian that said he was in the Two Towers. He's like, I was there. I was working there.
I was there. I was, fully problematic for $10 says Dolly and Moonraker had braces and nice boobas. Fight me.
Was it fake? Someone's saying he was lying about it. Wouldn't surprise me either. That's even worse then.
That's even worse.
Jeez.
I've only watched one of his videos. Got nothing against the guy. And I'm not for the guy. I'm not into like trendy biggest YouTube trendy thing.
Right.
I stay in ancient civilizations, UFOs, and our pop culture sphere. And it's like I get my politics from Adam. I get my politics from Benny Johnson and a couple of other people.
Shout out to Benny.
Benny.
Little hyperbolic Benny, but I love him.
I love Benny. I freaking love Benny because what he does is he draws you in with the hyperbolic, but then
I know. No, it's good information. It's good information though.
Yeah, and he also understands pop culture. At least he understands the importance of pop culture as much as you do, Adam.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's something that so many pundits. I like the first thing my first reaction to a pundit talking about a movie most of the time is for me to start talking about Russia. It would be just as sane, which is
Right.
not. I don't know shit. Okay. I just know war is bad. I don't like war.
Yeah, not good.
Decky 69 for 69. $5 says, Gary, I'm a bass player too. Hey, right on. I never knew there was a reason I knew there was a reason I liked you. You need to break out your bass on a live stream someday.
Yeah, you should,
Okay, I'll
man.
get my Rickenbacker out.
I've always wanted a Rickenbacker. I am also a bass player.
There you go.
Really?
The bass, yeah. When I was a kid,
Nice.
a couple bands.
I
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it.
good times.
I
I
didn't
think
know.
I feel like bass players are like quintessential to the sound of a band.
It's a
But
must.
they're
It's a
like
must.
overlooked. You know? I feel like
Oh,
they're
bass
overlooked.
players are such a must.
They are. And they are, well, I mean, certain bands, it's really downplayed like Metallica,
Yeah,
but especially metal bands, right?
yeah. I want to see your Rickenbacker because I've always wanted one. I always wanted a black one. What's the color of yours?
My Rickenbacker is Midnight Blue. Very hard one to get. Made in the US.
Nice.
They usually
and
come in red and black. Those are like the
I also have a red. Red's not my color, dude, but I do have a red Gibson Explorer. You know, Explorer
my
basically.
color. Oh yeah.
Man, they're fucking awesome.
I need to get a new guitar too because I was playing with mine and it just kind of the neck's broken on it, so
That
it kind
sucks.
of like it throws the tuning off if you push too hard on it. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only
that
guitar I have
sucks.
is an Epiphone signed by Jane's Addiction.
Mine's an Epiphone.
Cool.
Love Jane's Addiction. A good band. Damn good band.
Yeah.
Been around for
Jane-
long.
Jane's
You know?
Addiction.
Yeah.
Sure.
They were really good live.
Guys,
Very
let's start a
popular in
band.
Southern California. Morgan Santo for $9.99 says there can only be one quarter black.
Or when I get to the other dimension, is it a 3/4 black Garrett?
well,
Be
I
like
think
the inverse.
if it one quarter black Garrett fights another quarter black Garrett and you merge and you make a half black Garrett,
Yeah, 50
Mm.
Cent.
like Philadelphia experiment kind of thing where you just
Oh yeah, we're like
merge
in
into each other. Then you're like some weird creature with 4 arms and
Could we
like
get
3 legs.
Well, the
Double
extra
the
arms
brain
would be
cells?
white, wouldn't they? Because it's
Maybe.
6/8 white.
Sure. You're getting in the math.
hopefully one of us could do math.
with that X-ray girl. So
That would be good.
hey, the chat. I love it when the chat super chats because it makes me think of everybody in the chat like have a little cup out and they throw a couple quarters in and they collectively get
Yeah, it's
$5.
pretty great.
As a group. It's weird that those abducted can survive in the visitor's ship atmosphere, but not vice versa. Well, it depends on which alien.
Hmm.
It
Good
depends
point.
but that's a good point. But it depends on which alien. Were these the aliens abducting people? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Could be, yeah. Could be other alien groups.
Or maybe something in their ship contaminated them and they were already dying before they even got in our atmosphere.
And that's why they crashed.
And that's why they crashed.
Yep.
Mm.
Maybe it was a terrorist bomb from a rival alien organization that's going, no, we want that Earth place. You don't know. We don't
You
know.
never know. Mm-hmm. Sabotaged.
Maybe they put some metal in the microwave. I don't know. Accident seller for 50 Norwegian krona. Brazilian girls, Vargina, not vagina. Sticky goo, sign me up. So horny right now.
Oh my god.
They were like 14.
Calm
God,
it down, man.
Calm it down. Brazilian women, though, good looking.
Oh, yeah. yeah.
Good looking women. Albatross for $5. Is it possible that the sulfur stink is like a fear response like skunks? Maybe. Ooh, that's a good.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
interesting. And maybe that's what they secrete
Defensive.
something that's poisonous.
and
Right,
it's a
right.
Yeah,
defense
like
mechanism.
plants do.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Howard for £2 British says, Garrett, it's aluminium.
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 It's actually much more fun to say.
Yeah,
I do
Way
feel
more
kind
fun
of
to say.
pompous when I say it that way, though, because it's always been aluminum, but it is
Dude.
wrong.
You are an American living in Sweden. Pompous is your middle name now, okay?
A model. That's an
All
American
right.
living in Sweden.
Aluminium it is. Mm.
Model.
Aluminium.
All right, changing vocabulary. Aluminium. Yes.
Quinn for $4.99. Are the UFO/alien encounters contact with ET or contact with ancient tech natural phenomena? I lean towards ancient technology that could have been reactivated. For one, that is one of my favorite concepts of science fiction, period.
Same.
Yeah.
Something that gets actually Dirk Gently is based on that.
Reawoken.
Lots of Doctor Who episodes, lots based on that. Some of my favorite concepts. And I think that could be. Absolutely. What isn't that a basis for a great movie? Some archaeologist
Definitely.
goes for a dig. That's not Indiana Jones. Goes for a dig and finds something, and that something starts effing with the Thing is kind of
The
like
Thing. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
think of The Thing, but it's a great concept.
And Alien,
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah.
It's not on Earth, but
The first Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, not the show, the book. It's fantastic. And it's basically a repurposed Doctor Who story that Douglas Adams wrote. And it's still, both of them are fantastic. Bobcat for $2. Brazil UFO must be the Varginha incident. Or I could just say vagina. I don't know. It is the Varginha. I like how they say it. I like, saying that. Accident seller for 59 Norwegian krona. Upped it up 9 krona. Hail. Adam, you're a handsome guy. Gary, Adam, I should give you my number. Oh, that does sound bad. Also, Gary, so long, gay boys. Busted.
That's funny.
it is June.
Well, I see you two having all these fun on vacations together.
This could be a
starting to get
three-way.
jealous.
You were a little jealous, weren't you? I have to admit it.
This could be the three of us, man.
Especially like in Palm Springs, dude. It's like I didn't even think about that. It's like, oh, we're gonna start out Pride Month in Palm
Went to a
Springs.
resort.
Palm Springs is so
California,
beautiful.
It's so beautiful this
It
time.
was
of
super
year.
nice. Beautiful place.
It is a beautiful place.
It is a great place. I'm gonna get a place there.
There's a house in Palm Springs that has a koi river that runs in and around the house.
Mhm.
It goes around the house, through the middle of the house, around
That's cool.
through different rooms of the house. There's glass panels and also like feeding areas that you could feed the koi fish throughout
pretty
this
cool.
entire thing. It's pretty cool.
Embassy Suites, not all of them, but some of them have big koi rivers in the middle of them.
Yeah.
They also have
Pretty cool.
rooms you can record videos in because they have a separate room. That's the important part. So I can lock my wife in another room.
You can get 1 million views on
I
it.
can get 1 million views if I wear a ISOM shirt and I'm in a hotel.
We don't know how YouTube works, but sometimes
If it
we
works,
stumble
it
across
works.
Dude,
the formula.
Yeah, I should do a whole video and like wear an ISOM shirt and get an embassy suite and you'll get 1 million views.
Three steps on making 1 million views.
You might want to mention Woke Hollywood once or twice too.
Yeah.
But Garrett does not believe they are here. He gets his probing the old-fashioned way, says Eric K for $5.
Eric K is
Earns
very interested in my
Zing.
probings. I'm just saying, Eric K is a little sus.
Eric K is harkening back to a commercial that you guys are too young to even remember, but which would have made it funnier, Eric, is we make money the old-fashioned way. We earn it. So you would earn your probing, Garrett. You would earn it. Yeah.
At least I'm helpful.
What product was that a commercial for?
I think it's EF Hutton, right? Eric? EF Hutton?
What is EF Hutton?
What the hell is EF Hunting?
It was like some
Is this some kind of
investor-
Stone Age technology?
70s, dude. I've slept since then. Okay. We make money the old-fashioned way. We earn it. The chat's gonna help me out. There's gonna be
EF
some
Hutton, that's what they're
motherfucker in
saying.
They're like, man, yeah, EF Hutton. There you go.
Whatever that is.
Oh, dude, it used to be a commercial that was on like every 5 minutes in the
EF
70s and
Hutton.
early 80s. EF Hutton. Everybody knew who. Yeah, and Smith Barney. It was the Smith Barney, EF Hutton. They're all the fucking same. They're all a bunch of old white guys who made a lot of money. And God, I miss them.
They earned it.
They earned it the
They
hard
earned
way. Garrett earned it the hard way. but he still earned it. Okay, we're not going to take that away. Don't take
hard
that
worker.
away from me. Okay, I earned it the hard way. All right, we got some breaking news. Garrett, you want to get those clips?
I got the clip.
You got the clips.
Let's make sure I get the right one. There it is.
That always helps.
I had to rewind this a few times to make sure that I heard it correctly.
Well, we need to EFAP it.
Let's go.
Yes, we shall.
Does it? I mean, Mahler should be proud that he made it like his. It's like the Kleenex of live streams now. You know, when you break down a video.
Yeah, he's gonna run. He's gonna run that brand out. You know, it's gonna be like Band-Aid. They have to call it Band-Aid brand.
Yeah,
because they're losing that copyright. All right, here we go.
Grush sat down with investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, who is reporting for News Nation on the bombshell whistleblower complaint filed with Congress and the Intelligence Community Inspector General. According to the complaint, in July 2021, Mr. Grush confidentially provided UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena related classified information to the Department of Defense Inspector General. At that time, Mr. Grush communicated classified information about the improper withholding and or concealment of classified material from the U.S. Congress by certain IC elements. News Nation has confirmed Grush's credentials.
Remember, this guy did not witness anything other than
hearsay.
Hearsay, but he was given a lot of information. So he's seen a lot of files. Now, we got a little context on this guy from a certain gentleman that a mutual friend of ours at Cosmic Summit.
Yes.
Because we were really questioning like this guy's validity, and our friend said this guy could be legit. He is well known in the intelligence community. The reason I'm coy about this person I'm talking about is this person may or may not be still affiliated with some government stuff. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this person is the person we're talking about here on the is well known. Is absolutely well known. And this was supposed to get to the UAP task force, and it wasn't. And that surprises none of us. That doesn't surprise a single person in the chat. That doesn't surprise me that the government started this UAP program to, you know what? Sure, they're going to trickle out some information just to make the public happy, but they want to control the narrative. It's that whole thing exists to control the narrative, and this proves it, that they are withholding massive information from us. This is why Bob Lazar came out. This is why a lot of other people have come out. We have the right to know this stuff. There's certain secret stuff, sure, but just the mere existence of it, the mere existence of debris, of which is starting to come out now, and that's the smoking gun that we've always been looking for. Is there debris? Do we have possession of a ship, a piece of a ship,
multiple ships, like this guy says,
an alien body,
and we're hearing it more and more and more now. Sure, we'd like to see it, but even if they rolled out a fucking alien, not everybody's going to believe it now.
That's a good point
too. I'm gonna be like, what is that? Open that sucker up.
They're going to go PSYOP, Project Bluebeam, and you know what? You can't blame them. You can't blame them at all.
It's hard to believe anything right now.
Hard to believe. And News Nation,
this right here is I don't know about News Nation because they've got Chris Cuomo on their staff, and I'm like, giant red flag. So I'm like, what is this?
Bill O'Reilly was a guest on his show too, to show you that it's just one big fucking club. By the way,
together.
Yeah, we ain't in it.
And we ain't in it. Ice Cube was talking about the club today.
I saw that.
Yeah. Ice Cube can be based. Every once in a while, he's based, but sometimes he can go off the rails into retarded land. Sometimes he'll hit it.
Yeah, I thought you were on it, but no. Oh.
Yeah. He goes back and forth.
Today he's on it.
He goes back and forth.
But he says he can't show us the proof of the alien craft for national security reasons. In a somewhat frightening revelation, Grush claims the non-human species may not be friendly.
I've been told that they have.
That's the part I didn't hear last time.
Yes, that was not in the initial
I would have remembered him saying they're not friendly. That's kind of big news.
Oh, yeah. It gets bigger, dude.
If you rewind it a little bit, Garrett, sorry, because I talked over it, but here we go.
Claims the non-human species may not be friendly.
I've been told that there have been attempts to bring down craft, that we've acted offensively against non-human craft.
There have been instances, and there are certain techniques.
Have human beings been
Pause it.
hurt?
What does that mean?
What the fuck does that mean?
Certain techniques?
There has been incidents, and there are certain techniques.
Okay, so one of the theories as to why the Roswell UFO crashed, outside of it being randomly struck by lightning, which could certainly, I guess, bring down a ship, but if you watch Secure Team at all, there is a shitload of images. They might not all be real. They might be artifacting, but there's of UFOs getting hit by lightning and doesn't fucking affect them at all.
EMP.
At all.
That's an interesting idea. Yeah, EMP blasts.
No, they had microwave radar, and they said that might have messed them up too. Again, that's just something I heard on our
Interesting.
And I think it was Philip Corso who was talking about it many years ago.
Tried and true.
Fire bullets at them, but they would bounce off because I don't think anything physical would affect anything with a gravity field around it, but maybe waves of something can. I do not know. Maybe not. You know, they just talked about this on we'll get back to talking about Skinwalker next week, because finally we've got a bunch of episodes to where we can accumulate some actual information to pass on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got to catch up on
Unfortunately, they trickle it out really slowly.
Trickling it out, but after the last three, we've got something.
Dude, it's the curse of Oak Skinwalker, man.
It is.
Unfortunately. I think my favorite thing about it is not necessarily all the extra like drama and stuff. It's just the characters. I like the characters.
I like the characters, but they finally got
Dragon.
It's normally 10 episodes. They made it 14 this year, and you can tell.
Why?
You can tell.
Yeah.
And they did a spin-off show, and the spin-off show is not very good.
Don't do that.
It's not very good.
What's the spin-off show about?
Beyond Skinwalker Ranch, and there are other places that act like Skinwalker Ranch, including God, how do you say it in Spanish? The zone silencio. There's a silent zone in a desert in Mexico. They call it the zone of silence. It's called the zone of silence. There's UFOs. People disappear. It's where a meteor impacted, which is what they kind of think what happened at Skinwalker, and it jars our reality because there's so much. There's a big object from space. It impacted our planet. It could mess with radar and stuff like that with the different pieces of meteorite running around. That's so it's the zone de silencio. Zone del silencio was the name.
Cone of silence.
Yes, cone of silence.
Robert, I got you.
Not to be confused with the cone of silence, but we should do a show on this zone of silence because
we should.
Sounds cool.
That sounds interesting.
The spin-off from Skinwalker Ranch, this is how important good characters are, like getting the right people to do your reality show, because the three personalities they got are just kind of against the guy. They're not Travis Taylor. Oh, what the hell's going on?
We need to get to the bottom of what's going on around here.
I was skeptic at first, but after being at Skinwalker Ranch and being paid very well for the last 4 years, I think what's going on.
I think we should dig.
This is really good. Gary's got it down.
Yeah, he's got it down pat.
Like, that's really good.
I freaking love that guy.
He's great. He's awesome.
I do. All right, so let's.
Or killed by a non-human intelligence.
While I can't get into the specifics because that would reveal certain U.S. classified operations, I was briefed by a few individuals on the program that there were malevolent events like that.
Grush says he has to be careful about providing.
Hold on. That there was malevolent
briefed on
events like that.
Yeah, I want to hear that again. Can I hear that again?
Yeah.
Let's roll that back.
This is what I said. I had to listen to this a few times. I'm like, did I just fucking hear that?
Certain U.S. classified operations. I was briefed by a few individuals on the program that there were malevolent events like that.
Grush says
malevolent events, meaning if an alien or a non-human killed a human, that's what he's referring to. So there is malevolent events like that.
Okay, so is it us firing on them first, which is what we probably...
They opened it with that.
I would say if it's malevolent, it can't be us firing upon them first.
Yeah.
We asked for it.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
like they would have to be coming to attack
when I hear
us.
malevolent, I hear unprovoked attack.
Right.
Now there could be accidents too. Our jet gets too close.
Could be interpreted as an attack of some sort.
But it was just it was just the primitive being getting too close to something they don't.
I don't know.
I don't know if I believe this guy.
The term malevolent would I don't know. Meaning it's.
What? Go on, Adam. Go on.
Well, it seems like there's some sort of ill intent instead of an accident.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Now, our mutual friend, who did say, "Hey, the guy could be full of shit," but I don't.
Wait, the same guy that said he is well known and he is.
Yeah. Our friend at Cosmic Summit,
the same person said he could be full of shit as well.
Yeah, but he remember it was like 2 weeks ago. I asked how many different categories are there of classified, and our friend attempted to explain it to the guy who's been kicked out of 3 high schools, a little bit of a drug addled brain, and it was really hard to get my brain around. But the simplest answer is it's super, and I mean extremely compartmentalized, where most people just get little bits of information, and it's just a few people at the top who know what's going on, and that is rarely, if ever, the president. Okay, that's just the fact, and that's something that's probably not a surprise to everybody. But he broke down like certain levels of classification, and I'm like, what? Huh? Oh, what? There's a lot. There's a fucking lot. And he convinced me that this guy could be believable.
I don't believe him.
Look at that face.
I don't know. I don't believe this guy.
He works for the government. I mean, like,
that's one tick on
my
the
baseline is not to believe
in
anybody.
you. Yeah.
But I am open. Listen, these are all things I believe already. I for years.
I know, right? He's not saying anything.
I believe our government has ships. Our government's had aliens. They have been trying to figure out the technology for years, since World War II. I do believe that more started visiting after we blew up the first atom bomb. I think that's a big sign to the universe that, for one, possible threat. If you have the ability to keep an eye on something that could be a possible threat, even if it's 100 years from now, especially if you're an ancient civilization that's been around for 1 million years, that might be nothing to you. Maybe their lifespans are longer. I don't know. Maybe we're an experiment. Maybe, I don't know.
We're a zoo.
But if you're goldfish, all of a sudden, like half of them split up and then they start fighting each other, you might want to kind of check in. It's like, why did that happen?
Open the lid on it.
Yep.
Terrarium.
Yeah, I'm going to need to see a ship.
Something. It's like literally
floating,
anything that hasn't already been said, because
with
this
someone
guy has said the
leaning
same
on it,
things.
Where there's like a foot gap.
Did you know that there was a chimpanzee war?
A what?
A chimpanzee war.
No, what?
Oh yeah, they split. They fought each other.
The Great Chimpanzee War. See, the chimpanzees and gorillas are evolving. And there is some theories out there that they might be entering their Stone Age soon.
Cool.
But
that's cool.
Yeah, there was a chimpanzee war. Factions went to each side and fought each other. So, like, that is
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Wait, when did this happen?
And we paid attention to it. We're like, and we observed. Tell me when this happened, chat. That was 80s.
So what you're saying is we're the chimpanzees and they're observing us.
Yes.
Right.
They're like, what are those dumb monkeys doing? Let's take a look.
Yeah, some do use tools. Some people said that yes, some I can't remember if it's gorillas or chimpanzees.
Gombe Chimpanzee War.
Yes.
1974.
In the 70s, yes.
So 74 to 78, they were in a war.
For like years.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Guess span of time.
As above, so below.
Look at that.
Providing detail. He shared this letter with us from the Department of Defense, giving him permission to do the interview with News Nation. It says the interview questions are approved for public release. However, this approval does not include any photograph, picture, exhibit, caption, or other supplemental material not specifically approved by this office. Our concurrence for release does not imply DoD endorsement or factual accuracy of the material.
So nothing. It means nothing. It's
Just
like,
words.
yeah, this guy could say whatever he wants. It doesn't mean anything. He can't put anything in it.
He can't prove anything he's saying.
We don't endorse anything he says, but he could say it if he wants to. That's just like confirming his freedom of speech. That's all that was.
Well, the thing is, though, and normally in these cases, they couldn't say shit. So the
military, if he's in the military and he's allowed to say something, it's
so
still
we need to think
almost nothing.
And then, of course, I can hear Adam's question now, and it's mine too. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why are you telling us this?
Mhm.
You know, why? You know, it's like your jailer all of a sudden brings in like a pepperoni pizza after you've been eating gruel for fucking years. It's like, why? Why are you doing that?
I think I got him.
You got him.
I think so.
I'm just gonna say you did.
Hopefully.
Says the United States is not the only country that has encountered non-human intelligence.
Brazil.
He says our geopolitical rivals have their own crash retrieval programs.
Say what?
We're in a competition with their
course they do.
adversaries.
It's an arm race.
Of course.
So that's the main
An alien arm race.
One of the main reasons for secrecy is China and Russia. Who I hate to break this to anybody, who are not the opponents that the government would like us to think they are, as far as military technology. China has sheer numbers. Sure, they have nuclear weapons. Would they fire them off? It's not really beneficial to them to fire them off, because it would. I mean, you fire enough off,
We'd fire back.
Our planet, and we'd fire back. So,
Usually it's sure destruction.
and no matter what you think about the Russia-Ukraine situation, it's not like it's ended quickly, and you would think Russia could just crush them. Now, granted, the entire military complex of the United States and Europe is behind Ukraine, but you know, like you still think just pure numbers.
Yeah. Right.
But our friend at the Cosmic Summit said that Russia's reeling as far as their young male population never really recovered from World War II, and they just might not have enough fighters. Not really sure. That's something for the experts. But I think one of the main reasons for secrecy is just they say it's China and Russia, but we overclassify shit. We just overclassify. We classify everything. Half the shit that's classified should not be classified. Benny was talking about this today with the JFK assassination. The fucking nothing should be classified from the JFK assassination. Everybody's dead.
Yep.
Everybody's effing dead. So why
Not the
else?
CIA.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
Understand this, and it's a multi-decade Cold War that has been under our nose for so long, and you know there is no good way to level the playing field and hold other nation states accountable if they're doing unethical or illicit activity as it relates to this subject. And I think the obtuse secrecy is actually putting us in a very dangerous position where a country might make a breakthrough that say it's an adversary of ours.
Is that what this is? It's just more warmongering.
An arms race.
Is this more like we need to go fight Russia? Is that what this is?
You got to ask
this,
that
this
question.
interview?
Does this bolster the military industrial complex? And I would say yes. And I would
Yes.
say they can even use UFOs being real as a way to bolster the military
Yes.
industrial complex.
Russia and China have a ship. We need a bigger military.
Well, I think even if we finally admit, hey, we've got a UFO and they're dangerous. You know, that's going to build the military industrial complex.
That's my question of why they don't say it. If they had one, why would they not say it? Because then it would just be like, hey, look, there's aliens up there. We need to have more money to make better guns so we can go fight those aliens.
According to UFO lore, everybody's got a crashed UFO. Germany had one.
Be crashing.
Germany had one. I don't need. Well, yes. Well, I don't know if Sweden has one or not, but you're still a U.S. citizen, dude. So yes, you do, because you're taxpayer money.
Yeah, you got one right there.
Yeah.
This one's crashed from another show. Kinda. Hey.
You earned that one, buddy. You earned it. No,
Thank
but
you.
like every country, every industrialized, advanced country has one. Basically has one. There's been a lot of crashes. George Knapp famously brought back material from Russia when right after the communism fell, he went out there, and there was a brief time where they were really open, and he took advantage of it. And he talked to ex-military and got a bunch and snuck out of there with a bunch of documents. And George Knapp's a legend, dude. That's a guy I want to get on this show. Him and Jeremy Corbell. I want to get them both on. So I think they will use it to their advantage. That's what I've always been cautious about. I'm like, I'm thinking some of this stuff is probably going to be real, and they're still going to use it to their advantage. That's the only reason they would come out with this information.
Yeah.
And it is so destabilizing.
The secrecy is the main reason Grush says he is coming forward. He's concerned Congress is being kept in the dark, and it's a matter of national security.
This is not a question I had on my bingo card last week. It is not my sweet spot. Although I am a defense appropriator, I am part of classified briefings. This is nothing that has come up.
I saw the report. It sounds fascinating, but if there's anything there, we gotta investigate. Just like we would investigate a foreign country that has a balloon over our sky.
I don't want to be political here, but they interviewed two Democrats. They didn't go across the aisle.
No, they did not. They did not.
Maybe they do later in this clip. Maybe I'm just prematurely saying it, but
it's like the one Republican who talks about UFO stuff all the time is like very open to it. But do you think this would be the one thing that like the motherfuckers could cross the aisle
together? All right, alien threat together.
But
maybe so. There was another video they show of one of the Republicans talking about it later. So maybe they do.
In the documentary I watched yet, I've watched so many, I'm forgetting their name now. They had both Marco Rubio and a Democrat on together, talking about it, which is the way to go. Which is, you know what? Just we'll go to each other. The young lady, I'm forgetting her name, from Contact in the Desert, who was just, I thought she was incredibly based. She came out and said, I don't need disclosure. I don't need the fucking government telling me UFOs are real or not. I'll believe the people. And I'm like, yeah, that's where I am at.
Yeah. Like this guy. Like, I don't believe anything he's saying because he's not saying anything that hasn't already been said. Mm-hmm. He's just using those things that other more credible people have said.
Emmanuel in chat just reminded you, Gary, 5 eyes.
5 eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. To be reminded later on. I think it's a good time.
Do you want to finish this off, or do you want to
finish this off, and then we'll talk about Five Eyes? I'll have to refer you to another podcast to get the details of it, but yes.
Okay.
And again, Chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, says they do intend to have hearings on UFOs, and we just learned the committee confirming that they are in the preliminary stages of getting those hearings together. And regardless of whether you believe David Grush,
Sorry. The hearings are a waste.
Fucking hearings are always a waste of time in any scenario.
But we're doing something, population. We're talking about it.
I like to see the Sparks notes.
Now forget about everything and continue on with your day.
Oh, yeah. What are the aliens' pronouns? That's what I need to know, Eric. You're right. but
how many genders?
It's good that they're talking about it, but I don't know if you should feel like good about it. Because for the longest time they weren't. For the longest time they ruined people's lives. They've shamed people. They being the government, the military people complex, the military intelligence or the intelligence complex. Because the military intelligence and like the CIA, they're at odds with each other a lot of the time. That's why I always recommend The Day Before Roswell by Philip J. Corso, where he talks about Roswell, but there's also a other major point of the book is about like the forming of the CIA in the early days and how they were just basically at war with the military, and the military was hiding shit from the CIA and vice versa because they didn't trust them, because they knew that the CIA was infiltrated by communists. So that's kind of a big deal. And that gets kind of slipped under the rug with that book, but it's pretty crazy. It's a good book. It's a damn good book.
Really is an emerging area. Congress has been looking to this into the past, and clearly based on what we've seen today, they're taking this seriously. They want to look into it.
So the Department of Defense gave David Grush permission to talk about this? Do they know what he was going to say?
Why?
They did, and we have that letter, which is interesting. When you're at the level he was at and you have that kind of classified information, he was concerned, obviously, breaking the law and come out and talk about things. So he told them what he intended to talk about, and they essentially gave him permission in that letter, as you heard, only saying not to share specific photos or any sort of visual aids. But they also said in that letter, we're also not saying that what you're saying is true either.
Right. It was.
Which is important.
Right. And yet still I keep coming back to the point,
So
you know, over and over he said.
If you see this guy start like hitting the speaker tour and start getting paid, then you know.
Yeah, then we know.
Then we'll know it's bullshit.
Yeah. I think Garrett called it, dude. It's about bolstering the military. That's what this is about. It's the intro. You know, it's the first step in the UFOs are real. We need to up our military game, and we need the public to be okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to be crazy and say the military isn't necessary. You know, like I have my dream world of what I'd like my politics to be, and I'd like it to not have a military in it, you know, but that's my dream world. It's not the real world. And
it's
utopias
like utopia.
are not real.
Yeah, and
They
we live in a world
can't
that's
ever exist.
fucking dangerous, and people want to kill our citizens and stuff. So yes, we need one, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
evil exists.
Evil
sadly.
exists. It absolutely exists. But I tend to agree with you. I think this is a great way to because like war has gotten to. It's going to be very difficult now that the deep state has been completely outed to the normies. You know, I'd say most of the people in the chat and everybody here on this panel has believed in the deep state for a long fucking time, but now they've been outed, like unquestionably outed. So now it's going to be very hard to continue proxy wars. Like even in Ukraine, it's been difficult. That like the media, the legacy media has been going along with it, but that's starting to crack. Like this whole coup thing was nuts, dude. That was nuts. That was
It happened in like an afternoon.
It happened in an afternoon, and I couldn't believe a fucking thing I was hearing.
It wasn't it 4 days earlier that Congress accidentally gave $6 billion more to something, and it's like suddenly there's a coup and
whoops.
No, there was an accounting error. There was an accounting error. There's never an accounting error at the IRS, and they call you and go, quarter black. We're going to give you back a million tax dollars because of an accounting error. But it happened for the Ukraine. $6 billion with a B.
Dude, the guy like made Putin food, like it was like his cook, and then suddenly started making food for the entire Russian army. It's like this guy, he wasn't just gonna like flip, but then suddenly was marching on Moscow, but now he's in Belarus, which is like a stone thrown from Kiev. So I don't trust whatever they're saying.
He was a Belarus.
No, yes, yeah, that's good actually. Very, very nice. I think Putin played everyone. That's what I think. I think it was actual Russian disinformation.
He was trying to do like a dust up.
What I mean, like, I wouldn't tell anybody anything. Yeah, like it's crazy. Oh God! Somebody mentioned Chernobyl, and somebody said that Chernobyl. This would be the Chernobyl of Russia. Some dam breaking, and somebody said that, or the Chernobyl of the Ukraine, and they're like, the Chernobyl is in Ukraine, dude.
It is. Chernobyl is in
Ukraine.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I try not to be an expert in these things. I don't fucking know. I just know
an expert in nothing.
The Flash flopped. That's my thoughts on it.
Hard.
It flopped hard.
Good.
Hard.
Good.
Superhero movies are dead.
Good.
They're dead.
I'm over it.
Five Eyes. I'm interested.
Five Eyes. Okay, Five
I like the name. I like the concept.
All right. Well, God, I hope I don't disappoint Adam again with my information. But
I'm not disappointed. I'm pleasantly entertained.
So Five Eyes is the alliance of mostly European nations. It is America, Canada,
it's the intelligence agencies,
UK,
essentially.
Australia, and there's one more, and it's not France. There's one more. Help me out. New Zealand, maybe.
I don't know the fifth one. I know the ones you just said.
No, I think it's New Zealand.
Is it New Zealand?
I think it's New Zealand, Australia, the UK, Canada, and America. And they have a little bit of an alliance. And Canada, apparently, it didn't even leak. It came out with a document. And within that document,
chat saying New Zealand.
The chat saying New Zealand. Thank you. Within that document that they talk about crash retrieval, which means
where'd this come from?
Canada. Came from Canada. And Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp were talking about it on, I don't know if it was their last podcast. It's within the last week. And I was just going to bed one night and I listened to it, and You're was
like, wait a minute.
Holy shit. And they mentioned Five Eyes, and they're like, well, we've heard it before, but it gets mentioned in this document. Five Eyes gets mentioned. So it's a thing. It's a thing. And Five Eyes is the loose, there you go. 14 eyes.
I Googled it.
There you go. Five Eyes. And honestly, I had heard of it before, but it never really I never thought much of it. But apparently it's a thing, and it's in a document, and they talked about crash retrieval. That's what this guy was talking about. So for some reason, the powers that be, or somebody or some faction within the powers that be, want us to know that we've got some spaceships, or we've got pieces of spaceships, which is, I've never doubted that for 1 second, because Bob Lazar is somebody I believe, and he worked on a fucking spaceship. So
Garrett, you said that you are a skeptic to this, but then this documentary was very intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Are you more inclined to believe it after watching it?
I don't know if I believe, because I still haven't seen anything. That's the thing that is going to put me over, is if I've seen something. But it is very compelling to think that something may have landed here.
So you moved an inch.
Yeah, I think I moved closer that way, because just their stories and seeing their faces while they were telling those stories was very believable.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to fully be on it until I see something. But, never going to see that. Never going to be 100%.
Has there been recently a good documentary that's mostly a compilation of UFO footage? I haven't seen one of those in a long time. There are some from the, remember there was a show on Fox on Friday night that I used to watch in prison that came on. Actually, X-Files replaced this show. Some of you might remember it. It was called Sightings. And it was a weekly Fox show where they showed UFO footage, UFO footage from the 90s. Yeah, Sightings. I haven't seen a good compilation in a long time. I think it's overdue. I think it's they've been putting even in the Greer documentary, which I didn't think was very good, there was some really good footage, really good footage.
And if you want to make this video and you want it to really take off, you wear an ISOM shirt. And you go get what was the hotel?
NBC Suites.
NBC Suites. Right? You get the recording room, wear an ISOM shirt,
and you say woke Hollywood doesn't want you to know about UFOs.
Tom Hanks on the thumbnail.
Tom Hanks on the thumbnail.
There it is.
Very
boom.
important.
Unsolved Mysteries was very good too.
Oh yeah.
They did a lot of stuff, and there is a bunch of fucking shows. Then maybe that's why there hasn't been. There's just been so many shows out there. The William Shatner one, Unexplained or something like that. I was just watching. That's what made me think of the Zone of Silence, because he did. Because there was an episode on the Zone of Silence, which we should definitely talk about, because it has a lot of similarities to Skinwalker Ranch. It does. So there you go. Yeah, that's our latest on the UFO whistleblower. If we hear more, we'll cover it. Not sure we're going to believe it all, but that's what we do. We cover it.
It'll be as useless as hearings are, as useless as they are, it will be interesting to see what they try to say out of it. You know what I mean? Probably not anything new, probably a lot of waffling, but every once in a while you might get a little something out of a hearing.
The thing. That's what makes this such a great mystery, and that's quite frankly why we tend to lean towards ancient civilization, because we're just getting more information from that. Because we have
that's where I'm at.
We have a massively funded now scientific group working on the Younger Dryas impact theory. We got Randall Carlson putting out podcasts all the time, and then we got all the offshoots putting out podcasts all the time. We got Graham still doing the circuit and talking a lot, and he will be this summer. We got Jimmy out there. We got Ben out there. So there's more information, but that's the nature of UFOs. Like there was, I would say, a flap. A UFO flap is when there's multiple sightings in one area, but I'd say there was a general flap for Earth in the 90s. There was lots. And
that was a massive part of culture. At least like my household was all about that because my dad was so into like watching UFO documentaries, and he loved X-Files, and all that. It was like a cultural thing in the 90s.
I wonder if we could steal that theme song. I wish we could. It was a good theme song. I think we need another Phoenix Lights. We do. We need a modern day Phoenix Lights where a giant UFO flies over a big ass city where thousands of people see it, and except this time we all got our phones. We need it.
So, are you listening?
Give us a sign, alien boys
out there. Or let me speak to my. Yeah, if you guys are listening, make it happen.
I do have
a speaker.
I do have some exclusive footage from the aliens about that.
So long, gay boys.
Dang it. They're leaving.
They want nothing to do with us.
Yep, they're out.
They want nothing to do with
They heard Palm Springs and they were like, we know what goes down in Palm Springs.
It's cool. It's a cool place.
There's koi ponds.
No. Yeah, it's in a house. It's through the house. It's cool.
Mr. Parker, thank you for the $5 donation. Quantum Sledgehammer for $5.59. It's US. What are some of your favorite YouTube channels to cover topics on similar to Forbidden Frontier? Are there any that you've drawn inspiration from for this show? This show is mainly drawn from Art Bell. I would say is Art Bell, Coast to Coast AM, his era of Coast to Coast AM. I'd say if there's anything that inspired on the ancient civilization side, it was, Joe Rogan's interviews with Graham and Randall and Jimmy and Ben.
That's what started me down this rabbit hole. Thanks to Garrett.
Yeah.
But my rabbit hole started a long time ago. Rex Tintorzi for 10 Brazilian pesos. The real question no one asking is, when will Gary come to Brazil? Wow.
We may have to put it on the list of places to go see.
Yeah, when we're down in South
we go
America,
to Peru.
When we go to Peru.
Yeah.
A couple years away because
we got to go to Egypt first.
Yeah, we're content creators, and like we can do maybe one big trip a year.
We got to plan it out.
Unless this show becomes the entire focus of my life, which it may.
Man, that's up to you.
Yeah. Hero of Hell for 120. Is that Indian pesos? Maybe. Search up Hoysala temple pillars and tell me what it is made of by using primitive tools. I'm going to search it right now, real quick. I know, Adam, you got to go in a few minutes. I've got.
What is it called? What are the pillars?
Don't make me say it again. Okay, that's not.
How do you spell it? Oh yeah. Oh, these are the ones in India.
Yeah.
These things are amazing.
No. India has India and China.
Dude, the caves in India.
Look at these.
That would be cool
to
go.
India
How did they make these?
These cultures are way. Okay, I'm just going to come out and say it. These cultures aren't 5,000 and 6,000 years old. I think the beginnings of the Indus Valley and Chinese culture, and I mean civilization, not just the culture. I mean their civilization goes back minimum 10,000 years.
So did they have a massive stone lathe that they laid these on and then put them all up? Like, that's crazy. That's an insane tool.
Well, look at the third picture too. It's not even.
What is this geometric shape?
So you can't do that on a lathe.
All on speed.
That's.
I mean, probably. Like the detail in this is insane. It's rad, by the way. It's all like, and what that screams to me is these things are old. By the way, is like they're really old, and they were advanced then. This is like stuff was getting real easy for them.
Man.
It's just
this is like a
Darth Volus is saying that it's carved from bedrock.
Yeah, we want to make things the hardest way possible because it's easy. It was easy for them.
We don't do these things because it's easy. We do them because it's
They're
hard.
hard. Like me.
That's why they got more detailed. Exactly. I mean,
This looks like it came out of Maya, as in Maya, the 3D modeling software.
No,
like
that
you
is
can't
high culture.
you
That's
get
high
freaking
culture
geometric shapes like this.
we don't make shit like that anymore. Our stuff's ugly. We're
Agreed.
we're degrading as a culture because
Yeah.
like this is traditionalism and
incredible.
it's beautiful, and it's because we wanted everything to look beautiful.
Mojo says they shaped it with pure racism.
They did.
There it is.
I bet they did.
We figured it out.
Diversity was not their strength.
No.
Yeah, these are amazing.
Crazy. How did they do those with primitive tools? I don't fucking know.
Who knows, man?
I have no fucking idea.
Crazy.
But I mean, everybody goes to Egypt, and they should. And Egypt needs to be. People say it's overstudied. I don't think it's studied enough. I think we're still getting new information from Egypt all the time. Peru is starting to get. People are going there more.
That's the second place. I want to
can't
go
go to
Egypt and
China.
Peru.
China, which has hundreds, maybe thousands of pyramids that they hide, that they effing hide. We have no idea what's there, and India needs to be explored more. We need less, people going there for self-enlightenment and just go figure out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. Japan also has megalithic structures as well.
Yeah, really effing old, crazy ones. That rock quarry in China, the one they showed at the conference where they dug out that big rock, it was Brothers of the Serpent, and they're like, how are we going to move this? It's as big as a building. They carved out a rock as big as a building. And how in the fuck are you going to move this? You're not. That's the question. All right. Excuse me for excuse them for being late. They're drinking Bud Light. Gary is drinking non-alcoholic Bud Light.
No Bud Light has ever passed these lips.
Wow, Eric's really mad.
You've never had a Bud Light in your entire life.
No.
Nope. When I drank, I wouldn't drink that.
I don't drink light beer.
I don't know if I could say the same, but I don't like beer.
Help Gary
okay.
has fallen and he cannot get up. Oh my God. Neil Horn. Hail Gary, Quarter Black, and Adam. Let's see if we could communicate with the Brazilian aliens. Do you suppose that they would use that they would think Dan Vast Man Bun is gay? Well, if they're
No, they're enlightened. They understand the utility.
No.
Agreed. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I totally
Definitely.
agree.
It'd be like sometimes when you're working out and you don't want your sweat to get onto your hair and make it all frizzy and frayed.
What's a guy who's part of Antifa?
Garrett, you're not helping our case here.
Man
all
bun.
right?
Yeah.
Working out is gay?
No.
Guys,
worrying about your hair getting frizzy.
Well, I worry about my hair getting fucked up. I don't want my hair to get messed up.
Accident seller 59 Norwegian.
Take care of myself.
I'm eating Werther's original caramel popcorn. I'm so horny right now.
My God.
Dude,
Thank
you're
you.
in Norway. Call your Norway call girl to help, or guy, whatever you're into, to help take care of that. Or, feed the ducks. I'm not sure. That's
Feed the ducks.
The Werthers and ye still horny. Okay. Okay.
Got a lot of horny people out there.
There's some horny people. We're talking about UFOs and making people horny. That is not the intention of this show. But
we give the people what they want.
They can't help themselves when they look at us.
Can't. All right. Adam.
Is that time?
You probably have to go.
Guys, I love it. I love talking about this stuff. That was a cool documentary. I will watch the Skinwalker stuff. I will force myself to watch it. I hope they actually dig into the Mesa. I just want them to actually get to it, because it feels like they're like, oh, maybe we'll dig one day, and it's like, just fucking dig into the Mesa, please. What's under there?
Well, the Bigelow group did. Did you catch that episode? They did. They dug into the Mesa and they
what
blew
season
it up
was this?
to cover it up. No, the Bigelow group. It was
season 2. Oh, I didn't watch.
They
season
do dig
2.
in season 2.
I watched season 1, and then
it was season 2 or 3 where they figured out that the group before them, before the show,
dug before
had
them,
blown up the Mesa.
Okay.
To cover up something.
Well, in season 2, they get a backhoe and they do some digging.
All
I
right.
don't find
well,
anything.
No, they're drilling into it right now. They're
Okay.
drilling in from the top of the mesa. They're doing that in the most recent episodes.
The last episode I watched, they were drilling in from the side.
You know what, guys? I
So-
don't think we should dig.
We had a
Shouldn't dig.
recent episode.
All right,
where
Dragon.
They did have a mortar. They fired
I
off
just
a
care
rocket
about you, you know.
and a mortar at the same time, and they actually hit each other in the air. And they equated it to like that's like hitting a bullet with a bullet. It's like really impossible. Could be pure luck, but
But it is fun. That's
and
my favorite thing about
it's
every
exciting.
season. Every season, they start off by shooting rockets, and I'm like, hey, I'm in.
You shoot off rockets. I do
I'm
that
in.
all day long.
Let's do that.
Mortars and rockets. It's American right there.
They fly some freaking drones
Damn
up
right.
there. That's awesome. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. Well, Garrett, I'll see you tomorrow.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Hey, 10 minutes or less, Gary.
10 minutes
All
or what? Dude, that's asking a lot.
Less.
All right.
Asking a lot.
Sorry, I tried, Garrett. All right. I'll see you guys next time.
Take it easy,
Peace.
brother.
Peace.
I read that one. Matt G, thank you for the $1 donation. I appreciate it. Okay, without X-Ray Girl here, I'm screwed. And that's read. I read that one. Albatross for $5. Is it possible that they suffer? Oh, I read that one. Is it a fear response? I'm trying to figure out. Eric K for $5 says maybe they do not have the technology to make an antivirus spacesuit. Maybe they don't.
Maybe.
Fully problematic. I read that one. Paulo, the Italian guy, for 10 Canadian pesos. People ask if they're so advanced, why do they crash? I say a pebble in space can move at 65,000 miles per hour. If your sensors fail to detect it, that is some serious damage. Hail all and chat. Yeah, there's a lot of variables in space. Japanese Demon Lord, and it just fades off. Sorry. For $10. This is not a joke, but the song "My Heart Will Go On" skyrocketed on the charts after the sub incident. Are you kidding me? No,
Because they were listening to it in the sub.
They were not.
They were, yeah.
They were not.
That's what I have been told. I mean, it makes sense. You're going down there to see the Titanic. You're gonna be playing some music
James
to set the
Cameron
mood.
Says at the end of his where he's talking about this, he's all, and the worst thing is these people crashed for the same reason the Titanic crashed. They were just using subpar materials. That's humans. I've always wanted to learn bass because Paul McCartney, who out of all the Beatles was the best musician. If you listen to the outro of Come Together, Paul's guitar goes in and out of phase with the rest of the band. Also, come to Scotland, Gary. I might. You never know, James Horton. I might. Thank you for the 10 British pounds. Yes. Well, George Martin was also one of the greatest producers.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Don't forget the fifth Beatle. Dude, no way. I have a 1978 4001 anesthesia pulling teeth cliff rules. Yes. I am a big fan of the Rickenbacker.
I just like the sound. It just has a unique sound
It's
to
got
it.
a unique sound, and it's like if you're ever gonna play a bass lead, it's like the best bass.
That's the one.
Bass lead. I don't know, maybe it's the way it's set up. So long story short, I crushed the shit out of my left hand, like crushed it to shit. So my fingers don't close properly, and they're not very good. So this is why my any thoughts of playing guitar were dead at that point. So I went to bass. Because my ring finger barely moves. It moves along with my middle finger, but it doesn't really.
Yeah.
Because I sneaking out of my house, I fell off my balcony. I landed on my hand. My knuckles were down here. We had to pull them out. Went to the emergency room. I was supposed to get my hand rebroken. Never did. So it just healed. Fucked up. Max Relax for 5 British pounds adds a coin. Thank you. Ginger Adventure for $5. Think if Thor lost to a cold after the girls in the first film drooled over him. Maybe, Ginger. That was called Thor: Love and Thunder. Sorry. Sir Ubusan for $5. 2016.
Look
If you
too
don't
hot.
like my politics, don't buy my books. 2021. I'm genuinely worried because what I said I now have to eat with my cup of soups. And you're talking about the comic book industry, my friend.
Yes.
Yes. Who couldn't see that coming? Making an enemy out of the customer, and the customer saying, okay, I'll just not give you money anymore. And then you and your roommates go broke. The end.
Genius
move. Dawnbreaker for
Big
$20. I talk about Josh Gates a lot, and I saw an article when the sub went missing that he said was supposed to go down on the sub, but canceled the trip due to safety concerns back in 2021. Good for him. Yeah, if somebody asked me to be on that sub, my answer would be no. It would be fuck no.
You ain't catching me in no sub, man.
I don't like planes. Have you been in any kind of a sub?
No.
No? Have you been underwater?
No.
Okay, never mind. I
ain't
took a
going down
tourist
there, man.
sub in Maui where you're like 100 feet below the water, and you just go around, you look at the coral reefs and the pretty fish. And my friend would not get into it. Yeah. He would not get into it. I'm like, this one doesn't look so bad. It looked like a bar. Look like
I might do one of those boats that have a glass bottom.
Yeah,
I do that.
Yeah, but
I'm not going underwater.
Well, I went on a snorkeling trip outside of Maui. There's that old volcano that makes like a crescent moon thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where we did the deep diving, and then I saw sharks. They were little sharks, but I saw sharks. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. I've
seen Jaws. Okay, I don't need that.
I don't go to places where I am lower on the food chain. I just try to avoid those as much as possible. I've taken enough risks in my life. I don't need to take unnecessary ones, like climb giant fucking mountains for no reason, or jump out of perfectly good planes. Fuck that shit.
I might do that if there's like a cool temple that's undiscovered that they're like, hey, you got to
maybe
parachute down to it. I might do that.
If it's just like that, I'm gonna go look at some fish. It's like, fuck, I can do that. I got a fucking 4K monitor.
I can go to the food market for that. Oh, look, there's a fish right there.
Yeah. My Kleenex is full of phlegms and tism, says John Bonier. Okay. That the tism is from last live stream. The Happy Plague Doctor for $2. I have a structured settlement, but I need cash now. Oh, is that EF Hutton? That's EF Hutton. That's
no. What?
Or is that yeah.
That's JG Whitworth.
Is it
877 cash now?
You're right. But I need cash now. Get your fucking ass to work.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Orion for $5. Without a doubt, it's the atmosphere. If their biochemistry is even slightly different from us, the odds of breathing non-oxygen is basically 100%. Like, yes. I heard somebody else say in chat, you would never lie to me. You say basically oxygen is poison. Well, it is to a lot of things. Here, you know what carbon dioxide is really good for? Trees. That's what I heard. CO2, good for trees. Hero of Hell.
Soak it up.
Did you read my soup? I did. Hero of Hell. I did. Josh Kelsey for $20 because I remember Hero of Hell for $20. Thank you for the donation. People tell my Nigerian Adam I said, what's up? What's up, Nigerian Adam? Mark Gudetti for $5 says chimps and orangutans. I almost said
orangutans.
Orangutans. Going into Stone Age, not gorillas. Thank you. Gorillas are too stupid for the Stone Age. Okay. They're just big. Nice. But the Orgigantes, according to Jeremy, are going into the Stone. Ray Epps.
I mean, look at the word. It's
Ray Epps says we should enter the motherships as couch entertainment for $2. Oh, Mark Getty. Stop falling for the psyop. They ain't aliens. Aliens aren't real, and the government is lying to distract the people from important shit. I think aliens are the most important story of our lifetime.
I think a psyop, the real psyop is making everybody think that everything is a psyop. that's a problem.
Well,
Thinking
plus,
literally everything in your life is a
according to our
psyop.
friend
Maybe
at
just
the
like,
Cosmic Summit, we've been all using.
we've been using the word wrong.
We've
Apparently,
been using it wrong. So the psyop is a psyop.
truly.
No. For one, I don't cover real world politics. I'd rather cover this. So, by all means, pay attention to both and all of it. Take in all the.
Just be aware. Don't trick yourself.
I think the baseline that the government is lying to us is a fine one to be on, and I'm on it all the time. But that doesn't negate other information. It just doesn't. And especially when we're just speculating and stuff. This is fun. If you get into politics too long and you just hyper focus on that, you see what it does to people. Like how many people just fucking burn out? How many political YouTubers have just burnt out or lost their fucking minds because they cover that shit every fucking day? Hell no. I have no desire.
No comment.
Ever. I know. I have no desire to ever fucking do that. I know it's important. People need to do it. And there's some great people out there. I will not ever be the one. No, because I'd have to watch mainstream news again, and I just don't watch it.
Gross.
Follow the wait-in for £2 You got the wife hooked on this show. Lifesavers. Oh, I got your wife hooked on. I'm like, my wife's not hooked on it. She watches it once in a while. She's asleep right now.
We take her to our events.
Yeah, she liked the show. She really got into the Cosmic Summit. Great meeting you guys at the Cosmic Summit. Modern audience for $5. It was great meeting you too. Had so much fun meeting some members of the fellowship there.
It was a great time.
Chris for $4.99. There's a reply to today's show's announcement. I think it's worth checking out. For some reason, YouTube won't let me send this with the guy's name. Why not? There's a reply on Twitter.
It's too cryptic. I don't know what you're talking about.
So is it a reply from James Fox? Is it a reply from...
Is it a reply to the UFO whistleblower guy? Possibly. More context. Put it in the chat.
Is it today's show's announcement? Yeah, put it in the regular chat. You don't have to go in the super chat. Is it from my announcement that I was watching Moment of Contact, or the announcement of... well, here. There is a girl named Rosie who is asking me if I would smash, and then it says content warning nudity, and if I show it, it'll be some thought from the Ukraine asking. She's always in my fucking response.
Probably the same one. It was like the same chick every time.
It is the same chick, and it's like, you're a mid, and I don't care.
Yeah,
pass. It would be a straight up pass. Married guy. I don't see anything. So yeah, I need you to be more specific. Don't see anything. Don't see.
I'll keep an eye on the chat and see if
an eye on it.
Pops in there.
Go to the Forbidden Frontier one. Don't see. I see Dan Vask. That's not important though.
Subscribe.
Don't. I mean, yeah, subscribe to him. Got to keep it fair. We got to keep it fair. All right, back to the super chats. Yeah, sorry, I tried. What do you think about George Knapp's graphic novel on Skinwalker Ranch? I have not read it yet, but I will. I've read his book. I've read the book. Graphic novel is cool. That's a great idea.
Graphic novel? What?
Yes, there is. Thank you, David Nelson, $4.99. I will let you know once I do. Remember, only Wagner got pardons, not the regular troops who joined Wagner. Is it Wagner?
Wagner.
Peasant Jeff for $5. Silent Giant, the Sightings theme song was awesome. Yes, it was. Ray Owens for $2. Watch Greer's disclosure event from this year. Okay, I'll watch it. I know what he says, though. I know what he says. The earth is flat. Relax. The fake invasion is coming soon, says Flat Earth Disciple for $5. You know what? I'm not going to judge you. I've been in a plane. That's all I'm going to say. I've been in a plane. I saw a curvature. I also see a big old moon, and I see the sun going up and down. Matthew Hammond for $4.99. Could the crash ships be previous civilizations' attempt at flight using different form of levitation. The ships we see are U.S. re-engineered ships. I mean, so many people believe that, and I just don't. We have some really.
I think it could be us in the future.
I think it's more like us in the future, us experimenting. I certainly believe that maybe, some of the UFOs we see are like the first attempts at visiting us in the past. I just think it's something different. Now, is it a civilization that maybe has been here for a long time that's just from the bottom of the ocean? I'm starting to believe that one a lot too. Is it an older version of us that was advanced? I don't fucking know. I just know something's happening, and there's certain things that we just don't have the capability for. If we did, we'd rule the world. We would simply rule the world. If we have figured out anti-gravity, the U.S. empire would take over everything. Just would. Well, people say, well, they might hold back because we still have the fossil fuel economy and it would destroy the economy. And it's like, when you have godlike powers like that, it wouldn't matter. And that's godlike powers. That's, remember, Michio Kaku talked about the levels of civilization. We're still at a 0, by the way. That would take us to a 2 if we mastered gravity.
What's the top? Is it top 10?
I think it's a level, help me. I can't remember. I think it's like 3 or 4, but 4 is like, whew,
okay.
We're so far. We're like, we're not even near a type 1 civilization. Because that's speed.
You can tell that.
Yeah.
Just going outside.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Visit California. Fixer Bob for $20. I've had a top secret CSI before, and 5i is a category for who info could be shared with. Yes, so it's basically sharing info. Like you've been told, TS is compartmentalized. Thank you. Yeah, it's whew. It's real easy to people like, how can you keep secrets? The government's so incompetent.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. It's the incompetence. I was having a conversation with Mahler yesterday about like why woke Hollywood is woke, why the agenda took over. And while I do believe there is fortification, there's people pushing people in a certain direction, I think the vast majority of it is incompetence. Just allowed it into the door. I
agree.
Incompetence. The Happy Plague Doctor for $5 says China has suffered a historic injustice on a cosmic level. How? Oh, you mean like, I don't know, like by them suppressing so much of their ancient history, and yeah, that would be an injustice. That's sad. And the people have also been treated like shit. More than 10 years ago, there was a video of a conference where they talked about 30-something contacted alien races, that there was already an alternative to oil that was almost free. I remember one dude was an ex-Canadian minister. Was this bullshit? No, that conference came after the disclosure conference. I remember that conference. And one of them was a former Canadian, I don't think he was a PM, but he was a minister of some kind. Absolutely. White dude, old gray hair. Diego Salazar. So you were not imagining that. Thank you for the 1,000 Argentinian pesos. We're almost done here, Garrett. Yeah, we'll just shoot for Tuesday on that video. The Happy Plague Doctor. I got that. Patricia for 5 Brazilian pesos. Hi from Sao Paulo, Brazil. You should check out the, oh my God, I can't even say that.
Sao Paulo, it's close.
Yeah.
It's close to the site.
The Guarapiranga Reservoir incident. Stuff of nightmares. Oh, okay. I'm going to copy and paste that and I'll check it out after the show. Thank you, Patricia. Sorry, I messed up the pronunciation, but English is not my first language, and it's the only one I know.
Ooh, I got to fly. I got him.
You got him. It's about time. Jay Russ for $10. Might find this interesting. No one knows where Japanese comes from. It cannot be traced to any other language. Also, Japan is one of the few nations without a flood myth. This is true, and they also have an old myth of a UFO fucking landing on their island. They do. That is, I didn't know about that, about the language. I want to say Gundam, but it's Gundween's Universe for $5. Just remember, our current knowledge is based on carbon-based life forms. Any physiology outside of that is totally unknown to us. Who knows? Exactly. Our frame of thinking, that's what a lot of investigators who've been doing it for a long time walk away with. Like when you talk to them, the older ones towards the end, it's like, the more I know about this, we are thinking about it too linearly. Like we cannot even get our brains around this concept. So we just know something's weird. Something weird is going on. We can't explain it. And our brain tries to fill in blanks, and it can keep doing that. But it doesn't mean we stop because we think it's a psyop, Yeah. But never forget, like when you're looking into each one of these things, that, this could be some bullshit. Stoned ape for $4.99. The Virginia creature was sick and scratched a soldier, and it killed him. People should worry more about viruses coming from the beings. Nick Pope talked about this a lot in his talk. He talked about, that could be one of the reasons they're kind of hands off, remember, there was a Spanish conquistador who accidentally traversed the entire Amazon, like right through the middle of it, and he saw the Amazon is giant cities with millions of people. People thought he was full of shit until recently, when they started going in there and there's giant cities that had millions of people, and they think basically the diseases killed them all within 100 years. Richard E. Normus for $10 says, congratulations. On a completely unrelated note, have you guys ever watched the miniseries from 1998, Merlin, with Sam Neill? Yes, I have. As a matter of fact, it was incredible and came into my mind today. I loved it.
No, I haven't seen it.
I absolutely loved it. It's freaking fantastic. It's friggin' fantastic. And no better time than ever to watch old shit, because new stuff sucks. All right, we're gonna wrap it up right there. Garrett, what you got coming up, buddy?
I got editing that video that we're gonna make together right after this. That's what we're doing. Oh, and I started a show with Dave Lando on YouTube called Normal World. If you want to go check it out, it is every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, and we talk about weird stuff. We talked about aliens. We had Kurt Metzger on talking about aliens and stuff. It was a lot of fun. So if you like stuff like that, you like me or Dave being dumb, that's our show. So check it out. Soon to be Gary on the show.
Yeah.
They may or may not have booked it.
We may or may not have booked it.
Oh, and dude, I got my pass.
Oh, you got your pass?
I got my pass in.
I haven't been to my P.O. box.
I bought my tickets. I'm ready to go.
Ready to go to Comic-Con?
And not get COVID.
Not get COVID? Well, you're not going to get it from any Hollywood stars because they're not going to be there. It's going to be Comic-Con about comics. I'm kind of excited about it now.
It'll actually be good.
Douchebaggery going on, so it should be kind of fun. Be hanging out with Chris Gore, getting in all kinds of trouble, acting like knuckleheads. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait. If you're going there, Garrett and I will be there, walking around the floor, shopping for comic books.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Maybe we can take in a woke panel or two.
Perhaps we could subject ourselves to
that. Ask some questions.
Yeah.
Why not? COVID is still a thing. I mean, yeah. I mean, people are still getting a cold. People are still going to continue to get a cold. The flu made a big comeback, though. After taking a couple of years off, welcome back to the flu.
Good job. We missed you.
We didn't miss you. All right. Well, you're probably not going to get that video tonight, dude.
Well, just send me what you got and I'll work on it.
Yeah.
You can do.
And we'll work on that. God, it's just, I should have worked on it yesterday. That's my bad. I took a day off yesterday, folks. I was on the Salty Nerd podcast, so that's technically not taking a day off. But after that, I watched, I caught up on Skinwalker Ranch, and I watched Extraction 1 and 2.
I was gonna do that, and I haven't had a chance to do that yet. But
freaking fun.
Good.
Yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun. It's just crazy action.
Yeah.
And it's good fun. And there's going to be a third one for sure. They left it wide open. When you weren't so sure about it after the first one, when he definitely died.
They brought him back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, he not only fell, like he got shot in the neck, and he fell into an Indian river. It's like he died instantly.
Yeah, you're dead.
We'd have a better chance against a Virginia alien. Like
they need scientists to
like
study him.
Oil wrestling a Virginia alien than living through an Indian river.
No way.
But it was still good. It was a lot of fun. All right, so we got that video come out. We released a video Friday about a guy who wrote an article equating it, who said Indiana Jones wasn't woke enough, and he managed to get 2 January 6 references in. And I just thought that was mental gymnastics beyond anything I've ever seen. Next week, we have Friday Night Tights, and I already forgot who's on it. Oh, Baggage Claim. Baggage Claim. And Indiana Jones. We're going to be reviewing Indiana Jones. Of course, we have some Witcher coverage coming up for next weekend. Yeah, it's going to be busy effing week. And then after that, it's fucking Comic-Con. A couple weeks away from Comic-Con. They released the schedule today.
They did.
I'll share it with you.
I'm sure they're going to fill up all of the time that they would give these studios with more woke panels. So,
well, I have to do my traditional woke panel review live stream.
Yes.
So, maybe we'll even make that part of Friday Night Tights. You never know. We could do the woke panel review on Friday Night Tights. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, thank you for supporting the show. We love you. We had a huge crowd tonight, by the way. So thank you. You can find Forbidden Frontier on all of your favorite podcast platforms, except for Audible, which I'm going to fix.
We're working on it.
And yeah, we're going to work on separating it from Nerdrotic. So Forbidden Frontier will be its own thing very soon. But yes.
Please write a review or give it a rating, because that's really important on the audio side to get it boosted in their algorithms. It's not the same as YouTube. You can't just watch it and that would give it a boost. Like if you add a little something, like a rating, it helps.
Something.
We appreciate it.
That's right. All right. Good night, everybody.
See you guys later. God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this?
That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the dark roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all 3. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic.
Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome, travelers, to the fringes of reality, where the strange and mysterious meet, and the thin veil between fact and fiction is torn. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.